News.
I'm Andrew Pearce. This is GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good afternoon, Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more.
Whether it's breaking royal news,
Please bring us up to date.
or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons,
Very, very curious.
we bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me good there.
Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah.
Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace to Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
And
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
about 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
I'm Bev Turner. Thank you for joining us on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
It's crunch time as Ukraine's future hangs in the balance.
Sir Keir Starmer and other European leaders swarmed to Washington ahead of the Ukraine-Russia peace talks to urge President Trump not to cave in to Vladimir Putin's demands.
Now, this comes after Russia's apparent success at last week's Alaska summit, which reportedly led to President Trump considering having Ukraine give up regions.
The support from other leaders would also aim to stop the Ukrainian president from having a confrontation like the last time that he was in the Oval Office.
Gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's backed you far more than a lot of people said they should have.
In other news, is at last orders for the pub. More than 200 have permanently shut in the last 6 months. Apparently it's due to rising taxes and labour costs.
And the name's Bond, James Bond, but does 007 have to be a man? We're going to be debating that later on in the programme.
Delulu, skibbity.
Skibbity. Skibbity. Skibbity.
Skibbity-doo. Tradwife. They're not real words, well, except they are now, because whether they make sense to you or not, they're the latest additions to the Cambridge Dictionary, and we'll be getting to the bottom of what they mean later in the programme.
I'd like to pretend that I know, but I haven't the faintest idea what he's talking about. In sport this morning, Arsenal won at Manchester United with a scrappy corner, while a rule that nobody seemed to know about stopped Crystal Palace from winning at Chelsea. Scotland's Bob McIntyre said he wants to go and smash up his golf clubs after blowing a 4-shot lead at the BMW Championship. And in tennis, the Raducanu-Alcaraz US Open mixed doubles dream team could be in doubt before it's even begun.
The week ahead will be cloudier and cooler compared to last week, but will there be any rain where you live? Find out in the full forecast coming up.
Well, hello there. You're very welcome on this Monday morning. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
And I'm Penny Smith, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Penny Smith, it's lovely to welcome you here to our little
I don't know why you're
little
shaking
programme.
hands. Normally we do big old hugging.
Yeah.
Can I just say?
Yes.
Can I just say we did not speak to each other yesterday and say let's go pink,
No.
but we are here in the pink together.
Yeah.
On a Monday.
The other couple who present tend to like to match their clothes that.
Do they?
This is a pure accident.
It is, you see, but it just goes to show how in tune we are.
But it is very deliberate that we are together here. Ellie's off for a couple of days, and Penny Smith, and her and I. Well, we've fair to say we've done it before.
We have.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look.
Delectable Penny Smith.
Thank you very much, Eamonn. Good morning, the headlines.
People often say to me, girls, they say to me, you are the luckiest man in the world. Look at the beautiful women that you wake up with in the morning.
You always say to me, you're barking. That's all you ever say to me.
You're beautiful.
You are mad. You are mad.
You are barking, but you're beautiful. It has to be said. And you know, maybe I haven't appreciated as much as I should of the beauty.
No, you have appreciated her. You've never appreciated me.
How long ago was that?
4 or 5 years ago, I think.
I know, it was 1947. I've seen it, yeah.
I think we just got over rationing.
Yeah, we did. So there we are. We did it before at GMTV in those days, and now it's lovely to be doing it again with you.
I know, isn't it? It's really, it is like old times, isn't
Just
it?
like old times.
I feel like I'm sitting in front of the TV back in the day. I think it's fantastic.
Exactly,
I'm just sitting there watching.
And it's at about the same time, pretty much, as well, because it was always 6 till, although 6 till 9:30 in those days. There we go.
In those days, the breakfast show was only 90 minutes long. Because you did 6
I
to
did
7,
6 to 7
and
with
then
John
I
Stapleton,
did
and then
7
you
till
did.
8:30, which was tremendous.
And then, of course, Lorraine came
now
on.
you have you working here, it's like slave labour in here. They have you here 6 hours a day. So
Who are those two?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, you can tell that's an era. My hair, that is actually my real hair, by the way, just so that you know. It does look a bit like a wig stuck on stuff.
And that is my real hair. It's changed somewhat since.
Real suit. Oh, my goodness.
The one thing you're not going to like, Penny, is we talk a lot of football, don't we, Paul?
We do a little bit, yes.
Do you know, I was quite impressed with Man U yesterday. I mean, we didn't win, but there's maybe promise.
Penny, do you like the sport?
She can't stand it.
Actually, actually, that's not
football,
quite
football,
true.
football,
No, football bores me to tears.
OK, we'll find something.
But I love the Olympics, for example.
OK.
There's always something that I enjoy about that. I
OK,
don't
we've
mind
missed that by a year, so we've got 3 years to the next one. But you know what we do have? Lawnmower racing. I'm going to be doing lawnmower racing.
Oh, you see, that's got my name all over it.
I knew it would.
All over it.
Knew it would.
If you want to say hello, good morning and welcome to Penny, please do get in touch with us, have your say, and that would be a very nice way of welcoming her into the programme. Let's get on with it.
Shall we?
And leading the news this morning, Sir Keir Starmer and other European leaders are travelling to Washington to urge President Trump not to give in to Vladimir Putin's demands in the Ukraine peace talks.
This comes after Russia's apparent success at last week's Alaska summit, which reportedly led to President Trump considering having Ukraine give up regions in return for a ceasefire.
Now, the Prime Minister, alongside the likes of Ursula von der Leyen and Emmanuel Macron, will push back on demands, showing unity with Volodymyr Zelensky.
The support from other leaders will also aim to stop the Ukrainian president from having that a confrontation like the last time he was in the Oval Office.
Not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's backed you far more than a lot of people said they should have.
So, can Keir Starmer and the other political leaders sway the peace talks, or will President Putin still get his demands? In the studio now, we're joined by former Conservative advisor Oscar Reddrop. Oscar, Trump's not going to like this European turn-up today. He's not going to like these people getting in the way, is he?
Yeah, it must have been a really difficult call, I think, for EU nations and Keir Starmer. In a way, would it ultimately be counterproductive by showing that kind of show of force, if you like, to avoid what happened back in February? But I think, and this is a really brutal reality. This is a wartime crisis, and it's all hands, it's all hands to the pump. It's all hands on deck. And I think, given how the Alaska meeting went, which I think the former Defence Secretary to this country, and who, when I was at Number 10, was very much at the forefront of this, our response in Ben Wallace, he gave Putin 10 out of 10 for that Friday meeting, and Trump 1 out of 10 in terms of who got what they needed from it. And I think if that Alaska meeting had gone a little bit better from a Ukrainian perspective, maybe we wouldn't have all these European leaders showing up on the doorstep of Trump. But I cannot tell people watching this, this is to have EU nations and our Prime Minister jetting off to Washington today ahead of this meeting. That is historic beyond belief. It is almost without precedent.
But what can they actually do, though? Because we all know that President Trump, he just wants out. He wants this thing finished. He wants to be able to say, "I've put the bonnet on the pig. This is all done and dusted now. Or it's all been done, and I did it."
Yeah, no, that's spot on. He does want out. I mean, he has pressures at home in the US domestically to get out of this mess that is probably taking up way too much bandwidth for the president. But the show of strength and unity from the EU countries and Keir Starmer will hopefully just stand over the shoulders, if you like, almost physically, of Trump and say, we cannot allow for you to just wave any old demands through from Putin and allow the carving up of Ukraine.
That's what he wants. He wants him and Putin, and he doesn't want anybody else in the way. And the more you look back at these talks here with Zelensky at the White House, that is so disrespectful. It's shockingly awful.
It is, and sometimes things require a little bit of time to see them with a new perspective. And I think in the heat of it all, of course, we all realised how disrespectful it was. But because it was live and it was ongoing, we probably didn't quite realise just how horrific it was in a way. And you look back now with a bit of distance, and you look back after the Alaska meeting, where he was, red carpet treatment, handshakes, all pal and chummy with Putin, and you see that and you realise how awful that was. And so you will hope that the presence of these EU leaders will remind Trump, whose side are we on?
Churchill walking up to Hitler and shaking hands with him like this and putting his hand on his shoulder and, you're my mate. That man's a murderer, right? Yeah. And he should be a pariah to the rest of the world. And instead, mates. And I think they see some sort of business deal in the future. Something, look, we're missing out on all these deals we could be doing. We get rid of Europe, get them out of the way, and we'll milk Alaska and whatever else we own between us and whatever. It is a business deal to them, but that's not how this is going to end. And I don't feel good for Ukraine in this.
I tell you what the other problem is the fact that, OK, so we think about it being Ukraine, but then, of course, if Putin gets this through... then he'll have his eye on other places.
Finland and...
Well, look at all the other countries. I've got relatives in Latvia, for example, and you know, they're right there. You know,
absolutely
you're talking about, and then and also, like any bully, if you give in to a bully, they just go, right, well, I've succeeded with that, I'll just carry on.
Spot on, and history has told us that time and time and time again. The hope, and we've all been kind of just willing this along, is that Trump is using a kind of a sort of velvet glove kind of thing, a bit of charm, a bit of, you know, I have to show a bit of leg here to this man, I have to smoke him out, I have to get Putin around the table. And today will be a culmination of, if any of those efforts have borne fruit, because I'm nervous, and I think you can read into all these EU leaders heading over to Washington. People are nervous about today that Putin will get what he wants.
Said 1 out of 10 Trump for what went on around the table, but Putin, you see, Putin knows Europe, for all its huff and puff, Europe ain't going to fight Russia. And until it actually gets to a stage where Europe amasses its NATO forces or whatever and says, right, we're driving into Ukraine and we're going to sit against the frontier lines here, Putin's going to get his own way, because that puts Trump in charge.
And that bluff that has been called consistently from Putin is almost never-ending, and it has been since this war broke out. And that is why it's so important. And I think my old boss Boris did a very good job of this, of us as the UK, just speak from a UK perspective here, absolutely leading the way on this and being as absolutely firm as is possible. And I would hope, and I am no fan of Keir Starmer at all, that he has in some ways taught or provided advice to Zelensky on almost how to talk Trump since that last visit.
Is he now? Is he not now going to actually take a few more people with him, Zelensky? That's the whole point. Although I don't know how does that actually work when you're in the Oval Office, because that isn't how they kind of do things, is it? I mean, it's like ordering a table for two and then turn to six people.
Can you fit us in, please? I know it's the last minute.
I think we all need some stools, but no, really. I mean, how does it work?
I mean, there'll be a huge entourage of advisors, and of course, all the advisors and the EU leaders and Keir Starmer himself will be there. You know, and the weight of history that is on the shoulders of, particularly at this moment in time, Donald Trump. And we just have to really hope, and that is why we're there, that is why we're over there right now, that he recognises. And Mike Pence, his former deputy, said exactly the same thing in simple terms. Putin is the bad guy here. He is the bad guy, and it's easy to be jaded by a war that we're not directly, in inverted commas, involved in, you know, 3 or 4 years ago now. But we have to, as a country, we have to, as the West,
Ukraine
stand up
is
to
a
Putin
democracy
here.
which was invaded by Russia. And that is, and you know, you look back now, and I know, obviously, benefit of hindsight, but you look back and think, what should we have done to have actually shown a bit more force at the beginning?
Well, Oscar, hold on there. We're going to want to bring in Colonel Stuart Crawford, former British Army officer and defence analyst, and he joins us from Edinburgh this morning. Colonel Crawford, I'm going to get your whole perspective on what you think will go on today, but just getting back to that point, what stops Europe amassing under the NATO umbrella, driving into Ukraine, up against the Russian borders and saying, right, come on, do your worst?
Good morning. Well, I mean, the trite answer is that the European nations are not in a position militarily to do so, because over the past couple of decades, the armed forces have atrophied with the peace dividend from the end of the Cold War. And also because they have relied, as Donald Trump has so rightly pointed out so many times, they've relied on the USA for their security through NATO. Now, it's clear that increasingly the USA, certainly under the Trump administration, is no longer what I would call a certain and reliable ally. And so the European states have got to get their act together. But that can't happen overnight. So a European military, if you want to call it that, is not in any way ready to do that. And that includes the UK. I mean, the UK has got very little to offer militarily across the board at the moment, and we've got to build ourselves up. Hence the great incentive, the great pressure behind increasing defence spending to 5% of GDP.
Also, that Ukraine is not part of NATO. That is obviously, I mean, that was in one of the talks. That was also one of the big discussions on the table, wasn't it? So I suppose that would stop it. Does that stop us going in?
Well, I mean, first of all, more's the pity that Ukraine isn't part of NATO, because if it had been, Putin wouldn't have invaded. That's quite clear, because the one thing Putin cannot risk is a war against NATO, because he and Russia would lose. Everybody knows they would lose. And that's, again, because of the huge USA military presence. But there's actually nothing to prevent Zelensky and his government inviting NATO forces or European state forces to go into Ukraine. But the fear is, of course, that would provoke Putin into doing something even more stupid and daft. And so that's, I think, what's holding that back.
Well, Colonel, what more stupid and daft can he actually do? Where are we at with this summit in Washington today? What happens next, and what way will Ukraine come out of it?
Well, that's the question that everybody's asking. I think that what's happening today is that the European leaders have gone mob-handed with Zelensky in support to avoid Zelensky being bullied into something that he doesn't really agree with. And Penny was quite right when she said that Trump is a bully. That's how he conducts his business. He tries to bully people, and it's far easier to bully Zelensky, who is in a position of weakness, than it is to bully Putin, who arguably is from a relative position of strength. And so I don't know what's going to happen today. I would hope that Zelensky is able, with the support of his European colleagues, to stand up to what Trump is trying to do, which is wrap everything up easily and then go on to get his Nobel Peace Prize. And I think that we'll just really have to wait to see what comes out of it, because it's almost unpredictable.
Colonel, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate that. Colonel Stuart Crawford there, live from Edinburgh. And Oscar, just final word to you about today, because you're going to come back after 7 o'clock. We want people to put their points to you. So have your say today. Oscar will be here to answer anything you've got to say, whether you agree or disagree with them. What way is it going to go?
I'm nervous that we've seen a tweet, a Truth Social post from Trump in the early hours today, the morning, about Ukraine not being allowed into NATO. And I'm worried that the pressure in that kind of bullying mode that Trump can get into, that Europe, Ukraine, and the UK's position will not be where it should, where we'd want it to be by the end of this meeting. I really do fear that, and the consequences for that for the West and Europe are vast.
OK, Oscar Redrop, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much indeed. Coming up to 19 minutes past 6, a very good morning to you. Eamonn and Penny here on GB News Breakfast. And now it's time for a weather update.
With Tom Morgan.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. So there will be more in the way of cloud around out there today, but we'll all see some sunshine breaking through gradually through this afternoon. But we will need to watch for some thundery showers across the southwest of the UK, and more particularly Cornwall and Devon, maybe even South Wales later this afternoon. So some heavier downpours and some flashes of lightning perhaps here. Otherwise a dry day to come, but the cloud quite stubborn to clear across parts of northeast England. So here it's going to be fairly cool, temperatures suppressed into the high teens for some places. Otherwise, though, where the sunshine does break through, once again it will be a warm or very warm day with highs of 24 to 26 degrees Celsius. So as we go into this evening, and it's generally going to be a fine end to the day across the south. Some sunshine, particularly in Wales and southern parts of England. Out towards the southwest, though, still the threat of some showers across Devon and Cornwall first thing this evening, perhaps even into Pembrokeshire as well. Northern Ireland and parts of Wales having a fine and mostly sunny end to the day as well. The best of the sunshine, though, probably across western parts of Scotland after a warm and sunny day here. Northeastern parts of Scotland, though, will be generally quite a bit cloudier and cooler, and there'll even be a few spits and spots of light rain or drizzle in a few spots. Now, as we go through this evening and overnight, that cloud on North Sea coast will tend to drift its way gradually in from the east, moving its way westwards. So a few dampness patches across the higher ground and more especially across northeastern parts of Scotland where there'll be some patchy rain at times, but a mild night to come, lows of 14 to 16 degrees Celsius. So a damp start to the day for some northeastern parts of England and northern Scotland on Tuesday. Some patchy rain in places and also some showers across the very far south of Wales and more especially Devon and Cornwall, where we could even see the odd heavy and thundery one. Skies brightening though across other southern parts of the UK, so some afternoon sunshine and temperatures here into the mid-20s once again, but feeling considerably cooler where that cloud doesn't clear, highs in the teens.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Still to come, would you try lawnmower racing? Oh yeah, surely.
Well, that's a Paul Coich talking, right? These are all the details of that if you want to get into pole position right after this short break.
This is our country, and we think it's amazing. From high tea to the high street, we love it all. Even the rain, we like that too. There's nowhere else we'd rather be. That's why we're here to be the fearless champion of Britain, its voices and its values. Because we are GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently.
It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it?
It's explosive.
I mean, this is very good.
It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial.
And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born.
It's everything you need to kickstart your evening.
Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it.
That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it? Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good to see Paul here in the studio, and we're going to reflect on the Premier League programme, which I think comes to an end tonight, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Leeds and Everton tonight. How do you feel about Manchester United? Because the thing is, it was Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. You slightly encouraged, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's the win that counts. It's the points that count. We didn't get those, but we were the better team, and we played with a lot of verve and enthusiasm, and it was a lucky old corner, scrappy goal But it was like
I know
that.
it was.
like that goal
I'm just smiling.
It was like that goal that you had that beat us in Europe.
All right, don't have a go at me. I'm agreeing with you.
I'm just saying, same thing.
20 shots on goal Manchester United had for the first time in a Premier League game against Arsenal since 2011. 20 shots on goal. And that was the time when you scored 8. Do you remember that?
Well, yes, but we won one game 1-0 against Arsenal, and there must have been 40 shots on goal. Cantona scored the winner, but it reminded me of that game. It reminded me of the rivalry. Arsenal aren't good enough. Arsenal aren't going to win the league. Man City aren't going to win the league. Liverpool, I think, will win the league.
I think you're...
Also, if you've got that many things going awry, I mean, when you say a shot towards the goal, do you just mean like when we used to play hockey and we kind of just whacked it down the thing and thought, somebody might deflect it in? Is it?
Yeah, but if it's on target, if it's heading towards the goal.
OK.
Yeah.
Oh, well, just checking.
No, that's fine. No.
OK.
No, that's fine. So how many shots on target did you often get?
I was actually rather good, yeah.
Were you?
I was vice captain.
Violent game, though, right?
Oh, it
hit you in the shins.
Violent game. Nottingham Forest 3, Brentford 1. So Forest scored... do you know they only scored once in the 7 pre-season games, only scored once, and they go and score 3 against
Brentford.
Brentford.
Well, they saved it up for the right game, didn't they?
I'm worried for Brentford. But the other one is this Chelsea-Crystal Palace game. So it was 0-0.
Yeah.
Did you see...
No, I didn't see, no.
Did you see? Eberechi Eze. So there's all talk about him going to Spurs, but he scored this free kick. Now... It was the most bizarre thing that I've seen because often there's argy-bargy in the wall, a little bit of pushing, a little bit of shoving. So anyway, the VAR got involved. It was a pedantic VAR again. So Mark Gahey was apparently within a metre of the Chelsea wall. Did you know that you had to be at least a metre away if you're a player and you're in the opposing wall? You have to be at least a metre away. I'd never heard that before. I don't think anybody...
You're not allowed to be... You're not allowed to...
Well, you can... There's always a little bit of pushy shoving.
Yeah, you can't be 6 inches away from there. That would be ridiculous.
I think it's
Even
madness.
I think it would be
Listen,
ridiculous.
what are we doing? Metric here or imperial here? I'm going 1 metre to 6 inches. It's going to get confusing. But anyway, scored a great goal. It was disallowed, and it ended up 0-0. I think it was very unfortunate. There we are.
Okay.
That it?
That's it for the football. What about the golf? Shall I mention the golf?
Yeah, the guy, Robert McIntyre.
Bob McIntyre.
He wants to throw his clubs away.
Yeah, he's very unhappy. He's the one that plays shinty. Do you remember I told you about him?
Mm-hmm.
Love shinty?
Well, that's another violent game.
It is a very violent game. And in fact, the thing is that he was told, because he's a great golfer, and he's been playing over in the States, in Maryland, at the PGA, at the BMW Championship. He'd been told before, stop playing shinty, and he said, I would rather give up my golf career than miss playing shinty, because that's what he loves to do. That's what he does. But anyway, he was so close. 4 shots clear in the final round, and then you've got Scotty Scheffler, who's the #1 in the world, and breathing down his neck, and it didn't end up well for Bob.
Do you know what? It must be really annoying if somebody's breathing heavily down your neck.
I don't think he's literally breathing.
OK, just checking.
But he was just on his case. That's what he was doing.
I knew what you were talking about.
You were telling us about...
actually, he does.
You were telling us about mixed doubles earlier.
Yeah.
And why is it not going to come to be?
Well, it might do, but it might not. Because this is Eamonn Raducanu, who is going to play in the mixed doubles of the US Open with Carlos Alcaraz. Now, Carlos Alcaraz is in the final of the Cincinnati Open. By the way, do you know how to spell Cincinnati?
Cincinnati.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Cincinnati, 2 N's, and 3 N's and 2 C's. So you were right. Yes.
Thank you.
But anyway,
why do we care?
Open. It's just one of those things I didn't know how to spell. I was just right then. I was thinking I just didn't know, so I just thought I'd just
OK. Sorry,
it's only
an aside. How many S's in Mississippi? Loads.
There's loads, and there's exactly the same amount as S's and P's. So Yannick Sinner is playing Alcaraz in the final, which means they've moved it to a Monday because they've expanded the tournament, which is crazy for a final of a tennis tournament on a Monday, which means the US Open doubles, mixed doubles, which is this week, just means that they may not have time to play together because there's just too much of a short turnaround and it's a long distance between Cincinnati.
We just need lots of time to talk about lawnmowers.
OK, fine. Let's have a look at that. It's kind of like the Le Mans of lawnmowers. It's a 12-hour race. And what they do is they...
Does it sit on lawnmowers?
Well, let's have a look. There we are. There they go, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Now, that's your kind of sport, isn't it?
They've got to keep that going for 12 hours.
12 hours. 40 teams. They go up to 50 miles an hour. But the thing is, it's all very well, but are they cutting the grass at the same time? What's the point?
Do you know what? I was just about to say that. I was saying, where are the grass clippings? There doesn't appear to be anything.
They look like those buggies in the banana splits.
They're like mini tractors.
They are. And so anyway, you still do the pulley thing.
Oh, there's nothing more annoying than that, though.
No.
Holding in, trying to get
Oh, look at that. Or just get an electric one, but then again, I think the bug probably wouldn't go that far. But but that's the whole point, isn't it? If it's a lawnmower, it's got to be cutting grass, it's cutting nothing. But there we are. Well done to the Smith family. I don't know, Penny, you were the last one. Alfie Smith, Kenny and Marshall Smith, and there was another Smith. Was it you?
No, popular surname. Very popular.
Is it really? Are there a few Smiths
around? Yeah, there are a few
Smiths
Smiths around, yeah.
Where do they do that? Where's that take place?
It is a place called Five Oaks.
In...
That's all I know.
Well, do you know what? Seven Oaks is in Kent. Maybe Five Oaks is further up near Three Oaks.
Yeah. And right at the very top is an oak, and then you just work your way down.
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
28 oaks in South Africa, by the way.
Exactly, and Oakingham.
See you again later. Thank you very much indeed. Time for the Great British Giveaway. And here are the details you need to live mortgage or rent-free for a year.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August with your chance to be mortgage or rent-free for 12 whole months. We'll give you a cash lump sum that equals 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure, because why not? And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you. We'll give you £15,000 tax-free cash instead. What are you waiting for? Lines will close on the 29th of August. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
If you're travelling to work, here's your traffic and travel update, and don't forget to stay with us on digital and radio.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the A725 northbound, there is no exit to Whistleberry Road due to planned maintenance. Motorists should follow diversion signs and expect delays. On the M4 eastbound, junction 43 Landussie onslip remains closed due to roadworks with diversions in place. In Swindon, a broken-down vehicle on the A419 southbound has closed one lane between junctions with the A417 and A361. Normal conditions are expected soon, but proceed with caution. And on the trains, Greater Anglia is experiencing disruption between Chelmsford and Shenfield. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
We're going to take a short break, a very short break, and when we come back, we've got all the stories that are in the newspapers and getting Don Neeson and Christopher Biggins chatting away on those.
But first, if you're in search of some holiday sun, here's the forecast for some of the top European destinations.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
The heat isn't quite as intense as it has been across parts of Europe, but nonetheless it is still hot and sunny for many Mediterranean areas, and indeed across the Canary Islands and Madeira, fine and very warm here. The heat's still there across Iberia though, so some very high temperatures here. A few thunderstorms for southern France and across inland parts of Italy, but mostly sunny in coastal parts. And Greece and Turkey will stay largely fine, sunny and very warm over the next few days, with lots of sunshine and temperatures in the low 30s.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Welcome back to Britain's Newsroom with Andrew and Beth.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie is here.
I'm Michelle Duke, Britain's News Channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device. And as long as you have an internet connection, tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk
No,
now?
that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power?
Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber.
Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics.
We'll see where this ruling takes us.
These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
And here we come for a look at the stories making the news in the papers. We've got Dawn Newsroom and we've got Christopher Biggins. Very nice to see you both.
Morning.
And I can tell you've had a good weekend, Biggins. You've been enjoying the sunshine.
Yes.
You've been out and about and you've been cooking, as we can see here. I can almost smell the pizza in the air. Tell me about...
We were staying with friends up in Manchester. Was that what was it? Where was I?
You're in Cheshire and Prestbury.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to say that, but Cheshire was lovely, and we went up for a wedding, and which was on the Friday night, and then on the Saturday night we joined our friends, and they had this lovely outdoor kitchen.
Yes.
Which has a pizza oven.
Lovely.
And I quite like pizza, but it was wonderful to actually make your own pizza.
Mm-hmm. Look at Neil smiling away.
I know, Neil. We had a great day, actually. It was they're marvellous. Michael Josephson and his partner, Lyndon. And Michael is an unbelievable entrepreneur. He is a businessman, but he raises millions and millions of pounds for children's charities.
Good for him.
So, really great.
And what would your favourite filling be for a pizza?
Well, I like tuna.
Topping.
Biggins, tuna and sweet corn and onion for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
it.
That's it.
I knew we were joined at something. Unbelievable. I love.
It's hard to get.
It is hard to get. That's why you can make your own. You can come up with sweet corn.
Because it's not particularly trad, is it? I mean, that's as trad as ham and pineapple.
Yeah, I don't like ham and pineapple.
No.
But
Nor do Italians when they're making pizzas.
Exactly.
But I think that it's fun, and it's actually you can get marvellous doughs now from supermarkets. You know, it was just marvellous creating something.
Exactly.
Wasn't there a song in the 70s, Mouldy Old Dough?
Yeah, I think there was, you're right.
Or a group.
Yes, all they did was growl mouldy old dough periodically while the music continued on.
Don, this summit in Washington today, we've had a big discussion about this so far today. This is a complicated one, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, only mention it because it is on the front page of most of the newspapers today, various takes on it, but it is like, you know, Zelensky wants security guarantees before a deal is struck. Obviously, the coalition of the willing at the meeting today. But, you know, there's a problem with this. I mean, there's pages and pages of it in the newspapers. Can this happen? Will that happen? Da, 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 da. The thing is, the cards are all in Putin's hands still.
Definitely.
If he says, no deal, not doing anything, what are we going to do? What are the coalition of the willing going to do? What is America going to do? I mean, Trump, you know, a couple of days ago said there would be severe consequences. Like what?
Yeah, like what? Well, he could actually impose more sanctions. And I was listening to something the other day where it was talking about the Russian economy is properly suffering at the moment.
It is properly,
so you could actually put the screws on Russia if you wanted to. But of course, Trump just wants it all to be he just wants it to go.
He wants the peace prize for a start, Penny, doesn't he? And the thing is, I mean, he's also a businessman at the end of the day. Now, there's an opportunity in this deal for America to make lots of money. Obviously, the rare earth minerals in Ukraine, the rare earth minerals in Alaska that he might do a deal with on Putin. And also, Boeing sell pretty much, or before the sanctions came in, pretty much all the aircraft parts that Russia needs. So if there is a deal to be done, American economy makes a lot of money out of it. So I can see Russia doing well, I can see America doing well. What I don't understand is what Ukraine gets out of it.
Nothing.
Exactly, and that's the problem.
It is. And actually, if you put the boot on the other foot and say, for example, Putin had decided to take over Alaska. Yeah. I mean, after all, Alaska and Russia were right next door to each other. Yeah. If he'd sort of gone in there and started taking bits of Alaska, which also have a lot of minerals, you can imagine Trump not saying, do you know what, I tell you what, have the bits, just have those bits that you've already taken and that we fought over and that we've lost. I mean, this is the problem with this, is we have to remember all the people who are in these villages, children who've been taken from these villages and gone off to be re-educated as Russians.
As Russians. No one talks about that, do they?
Yeah. No.
It's really... It's awful. I just think, you know, Putin, ex-KGB, I think he holds all the cards and I think he's running rings around everybody else. Yeah.
I was amazed he turned up for the meeting.
Putin?
Yeah, Putin.
You just thought he wouldn't bother?
I don't think he would bother, because why would he bother?
Why would he? He doesn't need anything.
No, he does, absolutely. And it was...
It's so that he could look smug and victorious,
absolutely. You've hit the nail right on the head, because it makes him look good.
Yeah, in a battle of the alpha males, there was only one winner there, and it wasn't Trump.
No.
Yeah.
Now, Biggins, if I was going in to shoplift and I came to a store and you were standing at the door
welcoming you,
greeted me, that would diffuse the whole situation.
Oh, yeah. Eamonn, please come in. Take whatever you like. There's some nice DVDs over there. I've got some nice food. I think this whole situation is so appalling.
But the police see this as a serious option.
They must be mad.
Well, it saves them a lot of work, doesn't it?
Of course. Mm-hmm. Of course, because, you know, these poor people as shopkeepers get nothing from the police. They say, oh, no, they wouldn't even answer their calls.
This is on the front page of one of the papers.
No, it's actually page 2 of the Mail.
Oh, it's page 2 of the Mail.
But it's saying the Lancashire Constabulary issued this advice to businessmen, business people, saying, you know, that this is the way, is to greet them.
Oh, there were three... And also there was the other story just the other day saying to shopkeepers, put anything that's really expensive towards the back of the store. Yeah. Oh. Well, I was in a shop the other day and 2 blokes bundled in and everybody stopped what they were doing and they charged right to the back of the store and stole all the steaks. They just scraped them all out, put them into bags and rushed off.
But there's a shoplifting theft every 3 minutes. It is so out of hand now. I mean, the time we've been sitting here talking, there are shops up and down the country that have had stuff nicked.
But you see, it's a business now, Dawn. It was. I mean, we can all sit and say certain people may need to do it because of the cost of living crisis and whatever it is.
That is not the majority of shoplifting.
But this is a business now.
Yeah.
Well, people, don't they? They give an order to someone. They go to someone and they say, "I'd like 10 steaks. I'd like, you know, this DVD," and they get them for them.
And you often find them on sale in other shops down the road.
But it's not just shoplifting though, because of the fact that everybody gets away with everything now. It's everything, isn't it? Everybody takes what they just go. Yeah, I need some new tyres. Go and steal those.
As you say, everybody gets away with things. That's the way it is. Right, we'll be back. More stories in the papers with Dawn and Christopher. And you're tuned in to GB News Breakfast. A bit different this morning. Eamonn Holmes and Penny Smith. A collector's item.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
Dale, so what's all this about? You're involved in this scheme. The idea is that people who've got depression need to get out and about, and football's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you summed it up really rather well there. Football is a place for communities. It's a place where you feel a part of something. I know this from my experience of football. I've been running Forest Green for about 15 years now. And chatting to our local GP, who happens to be also our MP, we just had the idea, why don't we offer football on prescription? Because it'd be a lovely thing to do. Football is a great place to come and meet other people and be a part of something. And it could really help people that are feeling isolated and lonely and you know, other aspects of mental health. So I'm really happy to be taking part in this, and if it works here in Stroud, then we're hoping we'll roll it out nationally, and maybe even the NHS will embrace it as a national programme. That would be great.
This is football clubs that have signed up to voluntarily offer seats to be a part of this programme.
Yeah, and right now it's one football club, Forest Green Rovers, but I hope that football clubs up and down the country and up and down the leagues of football as well, because it doesn't have to be a Premier Championship club. You know, there are lots of great leagues in our country and local clubs for people to go and take part with. So yeah, it's not being paid for by the NHS. It's being paid for currently by Forest Green Rovers.
You're a businessman, though. Surely you must see some, you know, some dollar signs on this one. Sell the tickets to the NHS.
Well, I'm British, so I don't look at dollar signs. But look, I'm primarily an environmentalist, and what I care about is making our country a better place. I spend most of my time pursuing the green economy, but I believe in tax justice, social justice, that kind of stuff. Mental health is a crisis in our country, particularly for men. You know, it's the biggest cause of suicide for the under 50s. Men are affected 3 times more than women. Men don't tend to talk to each other. They don't talk about their problems. And so this is not about money.
GB News, the People's Channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Now, here's something that we're going to draw your attention to. Front page of the Daily Express today, and the only newspaper not to mention the Washington summit and what's going on between Ukraine and Russia. But 10 million of us addicted to junk food. And I'm going to say this, Dawn, because you're going to talk about this, that I don't think we've any choice. It's not 10 million of us are addicted to junk food. We're pointed in the direction of junk food, or it's pointed to us, and you don't have a choice. You go into the supermarket, it is very, very hard to get a choice.
It really is a hard sell, isn't it? I mean, fair play to the Express. This will sell, unlike the summit meeting, that won't sell, but this will, because everyone's got to eat and everybody eats junk food. Yeah, 10 million people in the UK hooked on junk food, and World Health Organisation are saying it should be classified as an addiction, like drug addiction, alcohol addiction.
But no one does, Don. No one goes to the big food companies, the Heinz and the Crafts and the whatever, and the Nestle and whatever, and say, you are poisoning people.
Yeah.
Because the food lobby is so powerful.
Money. It's all about
so
money.
powerful.
Yeah.
No.
It is all about the money. But, I mean, it's like some 14% of the adult population globally are addicted to junk food. It's incredible amount.
It's because, but if you ever, I mean, it is interesting, isn't it? How if you suddenly go and not eat any junk food for, I don't know, weeks on end and everything, then you have something. It is so bright, the taste of junk food.
Toxic.
Well, it's toxic, but the instant burst of salt and sugar.
Yeah.
Is just is incredibly exciting.
I couldn't agree more with you. It is exciting. And
that's the problem.
And the things that are healthy aren't.
Oh, well, no, well, I would disagree with you on that.
Well...
But I'm just saying that the problem is that when you suddenly... It's like all of these things, isn't it? I mean, any addiction is because at the beginning you get this get the buzz.
Yeah.
And you get the buzz because it's obviously it's doing terrible things to you. I mean, you look at this and it just immediately says, you've got to, type 2 diabetes and obesity and all those other problems. But they're saying this is, essentially a form of substance abuse.
We've got nobody that comes along and says,
like
these custard creams are killing you, these Jaffa cakes are killing you, whatever. But because it's not funny.
This is the awful thing.
I eat custard creams, but no one, when I look back at my life, and if someone was to analyse things, they would say, Eamonn, every time you lifted a can of fizzy drink, it was poisoning you, it was killing you. Who told me that? Nobody told me that. How they like to do it?
Because the whole point is, if it's on the shelves or if it's in a fast food shop and you go in there, you're not expecting anybody to tell you, by the way, I mean, like smoking, for example, the warnings on that. If every time you went to a fast food outlet and it said, by the way, these could kill you over time.
Now, I'll tell you what's killing me today. These new words going into the Cambridge Dictionary, Biggins. Skibbity.
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 What is this?
Skibbity. There's a song there somewhere. Skibbity.
Skibbity-doo-dah,
Skibbity-day.
See, I told you, beautiful but barking. I told you this all the time. What is skibbity? Trust you to love the word skibbity.
It's great.
What does it mean?
It's a nonsense word. It's just a...
It is an
heard of it
absolute
before
nonsense.
this, though, Penny?
No, of course, I'm just singing skibbity because it's fun.
And tradewife, another one.
Tradwife.
No, tradwife.
Oh, tradwife,
I've
sorry.
heard of that.
Traditional wife, yeah.
It's a word that can have different meanings. Well, what's the point of it then? It's such as cool or bad.
Well, it's like a
yeah, or can be used with no meaning at all, as a joke. I mean, so therefore, it's a nonsense. It's not a word.
It's not a word.
It can mean anything.
Yeah.
And mouse jiggler. That sounds rather...
What?
A mouse jiggler.
That sounds sexual.
Yeah, well, it does. It does. Jiggling with a mouse.
There's Biggins. He's a mouse jiggler, he is.
If ever I've seen one.
That wasn't a pizza, it was a very large rodent.
Seriously, what is a mouse jiggler?
Well, it says here it's a remote work...
a remote worker.
Worker.
Yeah, if you're working from home and your boss is monitoring you from the office, if you haven't moved your cursor on your screen for any length of time, they figure you're off watching TV or something or other. So what you do is you just sort of... And you can get programmes that do it automatically. You just move your mouse a bit and then everyone thinks, oh, they're working. And that's how it works.
Not that
I'd ever do that, obviously.
That's how it works. It doesn't work, indeed. And you've got concern over the climate and the phrase forever.
The things you know and the things you learn. We say thank you to Dawn and Christopher, and they're going to be back in 40 minutes' time. And we're going to be back after we bring you a weather update. Hopefully another nice day today. Yesterday was gorgeous, so it was.
Wonderful day.
Yeah. Tom Morgan with the weather update.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. So there will be more in the way of cloud around out there today, but we'll all see some sunshine breaking through gradually through this afternoon. But we will need to watch for some thundery showers across the southwest of the UK, and more particularly Cornwall and Devon, maybe even South Wales later this afternoon. So some heavier downpours and some flashes of lightning perhaps here. Otherwise a dry day to come, but the cloud quite stubborn to clear across parts of northeast England. So here it's going to be fairly cool, temperatures suppressed into the high teens for some places. Otherwise though, where the sunshine does break through, once again it will be a warm or very warm day with highs of 24 to 26 degrees Celsius. So as we go into this evening, and it's generally going to be a fine end to the day across the south, some sunshine, particularly in Wales and southern parts of England. Out towards the southwest, though, still the threat of some showers across Devon and Cornwall first thing this evening, perhaps even into Pembrokeshire as well. Northern Ireland and parts of Wales having a fine and mostly sunny end to the day as well. The best of the sunshine, though, probably across western parts of Scotland after a warm and sunny day here. Northeastern parts of Scotland, though, will be generally quite a bit cloudier and cooler, and there'll even be a few spits and spots of light rain or drizzle in a few spots. Now, as we go through this evening and overnight, that cloud on North Sea coast will tend to drift its way gradually in from the east, moving its way westwards. So a few dampness patches across the higher ground, and more especially across northeastern parts of Scotland, where there'll be some patchy rain at times, but a mild night to come, lows of 14 to 16 degrees Celsius. So a damp start to the day for some northeastern parts of England and northern Scotland on Tuesday. Some patchy rain in places, and also some showers across the very far south of Wales and more especially Devon and Cornwall, where we could even see the odd heavy and thundery one. Skies brightening though across other southern parts of the UK, so some afternoon sunshine and temperatures here into the mid-20s once again, but feeling considerably cooler where that cloud doesn't clear, highs in the teens.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A419 southbound between the A417 and A361 in Swindon has a breakdown with one of two lanes closed. Road users should anticipate delays. On the M74 southbound, after junction 21, a road traffic incident is reported. Drivers should approach cautiously. The M4 eastbound at junction 43 near Landarsey has planned maintenance with an on-slip closed and diversions in place. Motorists should follow the provided routes. And on the trains, cross-country reports delays through Darlington, and Greater Anglia faces disruptions between Chelmsford and Shenfield. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
What does it feel like to be a Great British Giveaway winner?
That's a big surprise.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
Do you know what? I've never won anything like this in my life.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
That is absolutely fantastic.
We're over the moon.
Yes, that is fantastic.
You know, you have no idea how much I needed it. Oh my goodness.
You've won £54,321.
Please don't joke. This would change my life.
Oh, thank you so much. I was gobsmacked. Thank you, GB News.
I'd say don't hesitate, do it. If you're not in it, you've got no chance of winning it. Thank you.
You weren't expecting to get that call today, were you?
No, I wasn't.
You really could be our next big winner. Head over to gbnews.com/win now to find out how and get your entry for the Great British Giveaway. Great prizes, even greater wins.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Good morning. It's crunch time as Ukraine's future hangs in the balance.
Keir Starmer and other European leaders go to Washington ahead of the Ukraine-Russia peace talks to urge President Trump not to cave in to Vladimir Putin.
This comes after Russia's apparent success at last week's Alaska summit, which reportedly led to President Trump considering having Ukraine give up regions in return for peace.
The support from other leaders will also aim to stop the Ukrainian president from having a confrontation like the last time.
Gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
In other news, as it lasts, orders for the pub. More than 200 have permanently shut in the last 6 months because of rising taxes and labour costs.
The name's Bond, James Bond.
Is it?
But does 007 have to be a man? We'll be debating that. What do you think? Let us know. Have your say this morning.
And Delulu's Skibbity and Trad Wife. Those are the words which are the newest ones in the Cambridge dictionary. We're going to be seeing what they mean and possibly using them inappropriately a lot. Skibbity from now on.
Do you know what any of that means?
Yep.
I knew you would.
Yep. Of course. Nudge.
Not a clue. In sport, Arsenal, see, I'll talk your language now in sport, and then we'll see if you know what that means. Manchester United and Arsenal, scrappy corner, so Arsenal won. A rule nobody seemed to know about stopped Crystal Palace winning at Chelsea yesterday. Scotland's Bob McIntyre says he wants to go and smash up his golf clubs. I know the feeling after blowing a 4-shot lead against Scotty Scheffler, which I haven't had that feeling. And in tennis, could it help your cause if you give the world #1 a birthday present before you play him? The answer is...
The week ahead will be cloudier and cooler compared to last week, but will there be any rain where you live? Find out in the full forecast coming up.
Oh no.
It's just gone 7 o'clock. I'm Penny Smith. What?
And I'm, as always, Eamonn Holmes.
Skibbity!
She's here for a couple of days, and this is GB News Breakfast. Penny, you're very welcome. It's just the way we do things.
Sorry, I was just waiting for something to happen. I was still thinking about scrappy corners, and I was thinking, is that when you do a hospital corner on the side of the bed and you just make it really badly and it falls
And this is why you will realise, if we go back 20-odd years ago, why I always called her beautiful but barking.
Delectable Penny Smith.
Thank you very much, Eamonn. Good morning, the headlines.
People often say to me, girls, they say to me, you are the luckiest man in the world. Look at the beautiful women that you wake up with in the morning.
You always say to me, you're barking. That's all you ever say to me.
But you're beautiful.
You are mad. You are mad.
You are barking, but you're beautiful. It has to be said. And you know, maybe I haven't appreciated as much as I should of the beauty.
No, you have appreciated her. You've never appreciated me. Oh, we haven't changed a bit, have we?
Not a bit. Not a bit.
Yeah.
Well, the hair's a bit different. Actually, you'll see this just down through the years. Look, you see the hairs have sort of changed.
Yeah.
The suit's still the same one, though, isn't it?
Look at those. Look at those flying epaulets. Shoulder pads were big.
Penny's going to be here for the next 2 days. Ellie is off for a couple of days, and then Penny is the new Ellie, which is good.
Only for 2 days. Only for 2 days.
Only for 2 days.
Yeah. I know we didn't plan the outfits either. It just happened to come in the pink.
Telepathic.
I know.
Telepathic. Mr. Paul, how are you?
I'm very good. What do you think about Terence Stamp? I'm a bit... you know what? I feel Terence Stamp... every year it's like Terence Stamp, Superman actor Terence Stamp.
Well, he's not. And he'd be rolling in his grave, the poor man, to be described like that. That is what he's known for. But, I mean, he starred in a lot of films. Unfortunately, there were a lot of films that people wouldn't necessarily go to see.
Far from the madding crowd.
I loved that. I must have
Far
seen
from
that
the madding
about.
crowd.
Oh my
Well, I had to
goodness,
watch
that
Far
was
from the Madding Crowd
brilliant.
because I did it for O-level. So it was
Did you?
Yeah, it was great for me to
Yeah.
study it for English language or English literature.
And also Julie Christie and Terence Stamp together.
Well, you know the song, don't you, that they're in?
The what?
Well, would you hear
The
this?
song.
The song?
Terence Stamp and Julie Christie, their names are in. It's one of the most famous songs of the 1960s.
Which is?
Terry and Julie, Waterloo Station. From Waterloo Sunset. Terry and Julie, Ray...
It was Terence Stamp. I never thought of him as being a Terry. Terry.
So Terry, or Tell.
Tell.
Because let's face, he was an East End boy, though, wasn't he? But
From very ordinary background.
No, because he obviously went to RADA and did all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, so East End boy. But Terry and Julie, Ray Davis and the Kinks wrote that, and that was Terence Stamp and Julie Christie.
Interesting.
Well, our condolences to his family on his loss.
Great act. What a great
So many good films.
Now, Sir Keir Starmer and other European leaders are travelling to Washington to urge President Trump to not give in to Vladimir Putin's demands regarding Ukraine and Russia.
This comes after Russia's apparent success at last week's Alaska summit, which reportedly led to President Trump considering having Ukraine give up regions in return for a ceasefire and peace.
Well, the Prime Minister, alongside with Ursula von der Leyen and Emmanuel Macron, will push back on demands showing unity with Volodymyr Zelensky.
The support from other leaders will also try to stop the Ukrainian president from having the sort of confrontation that he did last time he was in the Oval Office.
Not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's backed you far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Political advisor Oscar Redrop joins us now in the studio. It's quite shocking, Oscar, reliving that footage, isn't it?
It really is. I think at the time we were I mean, just like Zelensky in many ways, we were completely taken by surprise on it. And I think as the months and weeks have gone on and as we reach this absolutely acutely critical moment in the conflict, you watch it back and it is really difficult to watch.
But
it really
tell you
is.
what, you could not have seen him, or you would not imagine him sitting down with Putin with the same tone of voice.
Absolutely not. And it's that kind of kiss up, punch down mentality sometimes that Trump exhibits. In fairness, we were at a point there where Putin,
But this is a murderer he's patting shoulders with.
Yeah.
You see, I'm just not... If I was Trump, if I was in that situation, I could acknowledge him, I could maybe slightly, nod to him, but I wouldn't necessarily feel obliged to shake his hand, or certainly not give him a pat on the shoulder.
Well, I mean, what's difficult is that meeting is and was necessary. And, with applying a bit of pressure on Zelensky, and at the time I think we hoped it was superficial pressure, he needed to smoke Putin to the table somehow. But this red carpet treatment that people are probably seeing on their screens right now, contrasted with the scenes back in February, it's hard to excuse that, and that breaks my heart in many ways as as someone who loves a Brit who loves America and the special relationship we have. And we would hope today, ahead of this summit, that we see a Trump that has been closely kept eyes on by EU nations, the UK, Zelensky, that hopefully we have a very, very different kind of meeting to the one we had in February, because this is critical.
Yeah.
Stay there, hold those thoughts, Oscar, and we'll come back to you very shortly. I want to join Kira Ruddock now. Kira is Ukrainian MP. And Kira, good morning to you. Thanks for taking the time joining us today. And we believe there were overnight attacks on Ukraine, missile attacks, serious ones?
Good morning, Eamonn. Good morning, Penny. It's so good to be back on the show. Yes, as we have said, Putin doesn't have any intention to stop. So there were yet another ballistic missile and drone attacks on the peaceful cities on Ukraine. And right now, the amount of victims is being calculated. The emergency services are still working, and we are praying, of course, for more people to be found alive. But it is terrifying. And it shows you once again that Putin can stop the war by just simply stop him attacking peaceful cities. But he is not doing that. He keeps pushing. And this is why we have such high hopes for the meetings that will be happening today in Washington, D.C.
What sort of relationship do you think the American president has with your president? I mean, we just showed that clip from their last meeting in Washington and how degrading, really, it was towards President Zelensky as compared to this red carpet handshake with the murderer that is Putin.
Their relationship is complicated. We know that. But also we know that it's not the goal of all those meetings for President Trump and President Zelensky to become friends, right? The goal for them is, as representatives of their states, to craft the solution that will end the war. And we know that personality has a huge role to play. This is why we are so hopeful that our European leaders will be there with him, trying to smooth things if they will not be going the right way. You see, President Zelensky had this difference from the dictator Putin, that he actually doesn't have the right to give up Ukrainian territories. He's simply not being elected by people to do that. It's massive changes that need to be done in Ukraine constitution by the parliament and government and referendum. And this is why hoping that President Trump can pressure him into giving up Ukraine's territory is perhaps naive.
Except that if you look at all the press over here, for example, I mean, there's a headline here by Andrew Neil who says Trump wants out of Ukraine. He doesn't really care who takes control. I fear he'll give Putin what he wants to get peace. And I think there will be, and there are many comments of a similar nature in the papers today. Is that not what you're worried about?
Let's make this question a little bit differently. Even if Ukraine gives up something, it doesn't mean that Putin will stop. What can assure that Putin will stop is a proper security guarantees. And this is what we have been asking for, and we didn't hear a good answer. Look, we have been in these ceasefire agreements with Russia since 2014. And we can tell you one thing by the fact that Russia doesn't honor ceasefire agreements unless they know what would happen if they do? And this is a complicated question. What should be the power, the strength that will stand against Russia so they would know 100% that they cannot move forward?
Just very briefly, tell me, Kira, what it feels like in Ukraine at the moment with this relentless war going on.
People are exhausted, Penny. It's very hard. We already have lost so many people, so many friends and loved ones. That's why it was so painful to observe Putin going down the red carpet. However, we did not capitulate in 2022, when the world didn't think that we will hold on for more than 3 or 4 days. And right now, we are not going to capitulate, that's for sure.
Yeah, so from your point of view, it feels like it's business as usual whilst these meetings go on.
It's not business as usual because people are being attacked by ballistic missiles. But the situation on the ground didn't change massively. People are going to work, people are hoping that the peace would come, but if it does not, we will continue supporting our army and we will continue fighting.
How do you feel about all of this, Kira? I mean, do you in any way feel hopeful that this is going to be resolved in a way that will be favourable to Ukraine or not?
Eamonn, the hope is the fuel that we are running on. So, of course, we wish President Zelensky only the best outcome of this meeting, and we hope that having European leaders there will have an influence. And of course, in my heart, I'm bearing the hope that the war can be over soon. We know that President Trump is really determined, but I also know that there are limitations that he may not understand. Again, like the limitations that President Zelensky simply cannot give Putin or President Trump what they want because he's not holding it in his hands. This is why I hope there will be some conclusion found today or tomorrow or this week, because no matter what is happening, we need to be pushing for peace. We need to be trying to find a solution.
Well, good luck to you and everybody in Ukraine. Thank you very much indeed. We'll leave it there. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you to Kira Ruddick there.
Well, Oscar, you listen to that, you hear it from that perspective. What's your take?
Well, I mean, look, on the ground, you know, there is still ballistic, and it's easy, again, as I said, people get jaded by a war that feels very far away. It isn't. It's on our continent. It's been going on for years now. Ballistic missiles still striking, you know, and so this is very real. Thousands of lives are continuing to be lost. And in terms of any deal that could potentially be struck, I mean, and the hopes and fears, if you like, around that deal, with any deal, of course, there are conditions and, you know, percentages here to each side, you know, side X, side Y. But the crucial thing is, with any deal, you need someone to oversee it and ultimately enforce it. And that's why America, Trump's America, are so critical.
Yeah, they're so critical. But it's interesting, isn't it, when you look back at that awful, awful meeting that happened in February and Trump just bullying there and saying, look, you've got no cards. You've got no cards to play here. You're coming here with a begging bowl. You know, show us some respect. And it's just so appalling. The point is, though, the Ukraine, in many ways, still doesn't have any cards.
No, I mean, and that was what was awkward. I mean, some of the things that are hardest to hear are truths and inconvenient truths. And there is a truth to that. Ukraine are the B-side in this negotiation, whether we like it or not. And, you know, you just hope that Trump, he can be unpredictable, he can pull rabbits out of hats, that actually today, with the UK, EU nations, showing that, and I know people get very dismissive of, you know, oh, what's the EU going to do? You know, what can the UK do? But a united West is what is critical here. And Putin, I don't think scoffs at that, actually.
Really? Even though he looks like it from his face, but maybe he's always got that sort of face on.
We'll see.
Yeah, Oscar, thank you very much.
Cheers, Oscar. Thank you very much indeed. If you've anything to say about what Oscar's had to say, have your say, be in touch with us, and we'll reflect that throughout the programme. Tom Morgan, good morning.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. So there will be more in the way of cloud around out there today, but we'll all see some sunshine breaking through gradually through this afternoon. But we will need to watch for some thundery showers across the southwest of the UK, and more particularly Cornwall and Devon, maybe even South Wales later this afternoon. So some heavier downpours and some flashes of lightning perhaps here. Otherwise a dry day to come, but the cloud quite stubborn to clear across parts of northeast England. So here it's going to be fairly cool, temperatures suppressed into the high teens for some places. Otherwise, though, where the sunshine does break through, once again it will be a warm or very warm day with highs of 24 to 26 degrees Celsius. So as we go into this evening, it's generally going to be a fine end to the day across the south. Some sunshine, particularly in Wales and southern parts of England. Out towards the southwest, though, still the threat of some showers across Devon and Cornwall first thing this evening, perhaps even into Pembrokeshire as well. Northern Ireland and parts of Wales having a fine and mostly sunny end to the day as well. The best of the sunshine, though, probably across western parts of Scotland after a warm and sunny day here. Northeastern parts of Scotland, though, will be generally quite a bit cloudier and cooler, and there'll even be a few spits and spots of light rain or drizzle in a few spots. Now, as we go through this evening and overnight, that cloud on North Sea coast will tend to drift its way gradually in from the east, moving its way westwards. So a few dampness patches across the higher ground and more especially across northeastern parts of Scotland where there'll be some patchy rain at times, but a mild night to come, lows of 14 to 16 degrees Celsius. So a damp start to the day for some northeastern parts of England and northern Scotland on Tuesday. Some patchy rain in places and also some showers across the very far south of Wales and more especially Devon and Cornwall, where we could even see the odd heavy and thundery one. Skies brightening though across other southern parts of the UK, so some afternoon sunshine and temperatures here into the mid-20s once again, but feeling considerably cooler where that cloud doesn't clear, highs in the teens.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
It's time for the Great British Giveaway and your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for a year, plus having an extra £5,000 in your bank to play with. And if you don't pay a monthly mortgage or rent payment, we'll give you £50,000 cash instead.
Now that is a deal. Have a go.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August with your chance to be mortgage or rent-free for 12 whole months. We'll give you a cash lump sum that equals 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure, because why not? And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you. We'll give you £15,000 tax-free cash instead. What are you waiting for? Lines will close on the 29th of August. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
No, I don't drink, but I like a pub.
And I do like a beer in a pub.
Yes.
Yes, I do
like
like
the
a proper
atmosphere.
I like a proper ale.
It's a meeting place and whatever, but bad news for British pubs. I'm telling you, you could not believe how bad it is. They're closing and closing and closing. Why? We're going to be debating that next.
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record, you say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently. It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it? It's explosive. I mean, this is very good. It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial. And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born. It's everything you need to kickstart your evening. Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it. That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date. Or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
Now, we're going to talk about pubs. Both of us, big fan of a pub.
Yeah.
More than 200 have closed their doors for good in the first half of this year because of tax rises and labour costs.
Well, it now takes the total number of pubs vanishing from communities since 2020. That's just in the past 5 years. You'll not believe this. 5 years, nearly, well, I was going to say nearly 3,000, but 2,283 to be exact. 2,283. Unbelievable. You know, I saw an episode of Clarkson's Farm recently, and he was trying to buy a pub.
Yes, I know, and all those
everywhere.
lovely pubs,
He could
they
have
were
bought
all for sale.
In the Cotswolds.
So sad.
Really sad, but it says it all. What does the future hold for them? Well, we're going to go to a pub called The Dog, and The Dog is in Wingham, and we've got the landlord there, the owner, Mark Bridgen. Mark, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Well, this is a sad situation.
Yeah, this has been in the news for so long now, and it doesn't look like anything's changing. It is so challenging to run a pub in these times. You know, for a few years now, I think it really started with the utility crisis. That really was the end for many pubs and many landlords. You know, we saw our energy go from 36,000 a year to 100, and we somehow survived that. Twinned with that, with the inflation, everything we buy, which continues. Recently we saw some of our beef products go up 25%. There's now the new taxes on packaging, which is coming into effect, and then that has a knock on to your waste. The really big challenge is labour costs. That's our single largest bill. Is our team. It takes a lot of people to run a pub, restaurant, and in our case, we've got rooms, hotel. We have a staff of around 25 people. So we're labour intensive.
Mark, can you imagine
3 years of minimum?
Can you imagine meeting the Chancellor Rachel Reeves and her looking you in the eye and telling you, "I've done a great thing for the country by taxing these jobs"?
I wouldn't know whether to laugh or to cry. I would love to sit down with her and get some sort of, government is meant to deliver, a safe, stable environment for us to live and work in, and we do not have a stable environment within which to run our pubs and restaurants.
Well, why do they see, Mark? Why do they see pubs as such a cash cow when you know how difficult it is to run, to maintain, to keep those buildings that you've got in order, to keep the staff together? You have to sell food whether you want to or not, because it's the only way you're going to make any sort of money. But why is it that people in Whitehall, civil servants or whatever, see you guys as the forever giving cash cow?
Well, if that's how they feel, they've got it wrong. They just don't understand, and they are killing. They are killing an industry that provides a huge amount of jobs and pays a huge amount in tax.
And also gives a community, and also makes. And Mark, from my point of view, loving a pub as I do, and having lived in villages across the land, I would say it's the heart of a village. It's a community, and it's a place where people meet, and it just gives heart to places.
The heart
as well.
and soul.
Heart and soul of the place.
They're taking that away.
Absolutely.
And that's the bit you can't put a price on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, we've lost our post offices.
Yeah.
And we're losing, so many of We've lost our banks, we've lost our post offices, and the pub is going next.
Actually, the other thing, Mark, that I would say is that, from my point of view, I went only last night. I went to go and have a little half of Timothy Taylor's, and I was just thinking, my goodness, the price of this half a pint is quite staggering. When I could probably go to the supermarket and go and buy.
But that's the danger.
No, but I'm just saying that the problem is that as soon as they made it so that it was cheaper to go to the supermarket than it was to go to the pub, by a huge margin rather than just a bit of a margin, that also was difficult, wasn't it?
Yeah, I completely agree. It has become so expensive to staff and to turn the lights on and to buy the beer and to then serve it that and we're not making any profit.
That's the problem.
And we've had to keep putting our prices up, and it's not to our benefit. And
what's the future, Mark? Tell me,
20%.
What is going to happen?
We're just going to lose more and more pubs. You know, our wonderful village of Wingham used to have 4 pubs. It has 2 now, and I don't know how long they will remain in business. You know, I know that our neighbours in the villages around us, the pubs are either closing or they've lost another tenant and someone else is coming in to give it a go. And I'm talking all sorts of different pubs, from just, you know, your spit and sawdust, have a pint in the village pub, through to, you know, in the next village along, a Michelin-starred pub.
Have you thought about giving it up?
I am trying to go for as long as possible because we love it, and we love our guests and we love our team, but it is so hard. It really is.
Mark, sorry to hear about your troubles. I'm sorry that politicians, all of them, of all colours, of all shades, whether they're in government or not, are deaf to this, absolutely deaf, and they'll only miss it when it's gone. It's like the BBC, they complain about it all the time, and they'll miss it when it's gone. So thank you very much indeed. The pubs, the post offices, and the banks, what is left for village life. Mark, leave it there. Thank you very much indeed. So listen, we want to ask you, what do you think? Is your pub being affected? As I said, I don't drink, but I love the atmosphere of a pub, and I'll go and I'll sit with people who do drink.
You're allowed to drink other drinks that, you know, and I know a lot of people, for example, you know, I'm sorry, but Guinness, Zero Guinness is really, really good. You can't, I swear, you can barely tell it from the original. See, I do my homework properly, even when I don't
sampling. Let me sample another bit of that.
Yeah, exactly.
There you are, gbnews.com/have your say. Please do have your say. We want to reflect this morning. Does it matter to your life? Maybe you don't go to a pub, but maybe you take comfort from just seeing one there in the high street.
I like it. Do you know what? Even genuinely, even if I'm driving or whatever else, I'll stop at a pub because it's just comfortable, and you can sit there and have a whatever you want, tonic water or whatever. Still to come, Man United have had a disappointing start to the season.
Could have been worse.
Could it?
Anyway, could have been. Paul Coates here next.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Traffic updates: the M74 southbound after junction 21 is restricted due to a road traffic incident. Motorists should exercise caution as delays may occur. On the M25 anti-clockwise between junction 26 and junction 25, a collision has closed one of 4 lanes. And on the trains, disruptions are reported on the Greater Anglia line between Chelmsford and Shenfield. The London Overground is experiencing delays between Clapham Junction and Watford Junction. Stay up to date at gbnews.com for travel information across road and rail networks. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record. You say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Mr. Paul Coyte here with the...
Mr. Paul Coyte.
Yeah,
yes, I know. That's very nice.
Yeah.
The respect is
Sir
actually
Paul
Sir.
Coyte,
Sir
yeah.
Paul, yes. Lord.
Lord
Lord
Paul
Coyte
Coyte.
of Romford, yes. Football is back. I'm glad that... We've missed it, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have the
What
Premier
do you mean
League.
football's back? I thought, what? Has it not been
It's like
going
it's
on
never
forever?
gone away.
When did it stop?
Oh, trust me, there's
Stops
been a
in
break.
May.
We've had about half an hour and we've had no football and we're getting a bit upset about the whole thing.
Okay, all right.
So do you
Sort
have
of stops after the FA Cup final, and then there's these silly European things that go on. That...
Do you know, I'd support a team if it was called... I remember there was one called sort of something Academicals. I quite like.
Hamilton.
Hamilton Academicals. I think I could support that, just because they sound like they... Do they play in mortarboards and
They
gowns?
do. That's exactly what they
Lovely,
do. They're
good.
the cleverest
Very
thing that
happy
there
with-
is.
Good.
Rubbish
happy-
at playing football, but they're very good at arithmetic.
And really good in a pub quiz.
Absolutely. Do you have a team, though, Penny?
Obviously not.
Well, why? What do you mean, obviously?
Well, I grew up in Rutland. Did we have a team?
No, but it doesn't necessarily mean that way.
Oh.
from Belfast and supports Manchester United.
Oh, yeah, but everybody played... yeah, it was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just going to say, people think Ireland is orange or green. Ireland is red. And
Well,
people...
Pat Jennings.
Yeah, but George Best, I'm going to say, one of the greatest players ever in the world. That's all. So stop arguing against me on that. That's the way it is.
Leeds versus Everton, so there's an old-school game, which is tonight. Leeds back in the Premier League. So
Leeds have a lot of support in Ireland as well.
Leeds United?
Yeah. Yeah, from the 70s and Don Revie and all that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, the old dirty.
And then David O'Leary was attached to them. He was managed.
Of course, yeah. Well, anyway, that's the final Premier League game of... What do they do all this match day one stuff?
It's like Europe now.
Yeah, so anyway...
So Leeds are playing who tonight?
Everton tonight.
Interesting.
I think it'd be
where is that? Is that the Everton ground?
No, it's going to be at Ellen Road tonight.
Right, okay. That'll be a great atmosphere there.
I think so. And the thing is, I said that I thought Sunderland were going to beat West Ham purely because Sunderland gone up to this thing where all the supporters are very excited about it. And the fact that they've gone up to the Premier League for the first time in goodness knows how many years, you're on a hiding to nothing if you're going to go up and you're going to play at the Stadium of Light on the first game of the season. And I think West Ham don't need to worry too much because I always assume that Sunderland would win that.
I quite like the colours they play in there. That's the one with the pale blue and the maroon, isn't it?
No. That's West Ham. Sorry, West Ham.
West Ham is, yeah.
Sorry, yes.
Pale blue,
I thought we were talking about Sunderland.
Claret and blue. Claret and blue. Yeah.
Oh, right, OK. I'd call that
or,
maroon.
Or maroon from your part of the world.
For goodness sake. No, it's not just that, is it?
What was the pub near Upton Park called? The Boleyn. The Boleyn,
Yes,
wasn't it?
the Bowling Ground.
They've revamped that. They were talking about pubs closing down there, and they've reopened it and rebranded it, and it's all very traditional, very West Ham and whatever.
Yeah, it's not the sort of pub as an away fan you probably
Have you seen what they've done with Upton Park? What they've built there?
No.
All these horrible flats, ghastly.
But what do you do though if you've got a football ground and then they're gonna move it?
Almost, I think it should be part of your national heritage.
I mean, Arsenal have done very well because they've still got the outside, which has got preservation or
hybrid.
They've got flats, so that's still.
It would have been quite nice to have planted a whole load of trees and maybe had some allotments in there.
I think so, yeah.
Thank you.
I think so. US Open is next week. Yannick Sinner will play Carlos Alcaraz in the final, though, in Cincinnati, which we talked about earlier. But interestingly, it was Yannick Sinner's birthday on Saturday. Now, the fella he was playing was Terence Atman. I think we've probably got a bit of this game. In the semi-final, Terence is 136th in the world, so didn't really look like he was going to stand much chance of beating Yannick Sinner. But it was Yannick's birthday, so what he did was went up to Yannick before the game and said, I have a birthday present for you.
Ooh.
Oh.
And he has a collection of Pokemon cards. And he gave, I mean, what are you, 7? Gave him his Pokemon, gave him a Pokemon card, which apparently Yannick Sinner was very impressed with. Now, this is a Pokemon card, and so it just shows that they are worth something. It's not like just trading cards when you're a kid. That Pokemon card is the most expensive, the most money anybody's paid for a Pokemon card.
Which is?
You tell me.
No idea.
50 quid.
5.2 million.
Oh, good luck to you.
No.
Do you know, when I was young, I collected Thunderbirds cards, Captain Scarlet cards, Man from U.N.C.L.E. cards.
Yeah.
What else am I missing? God,
I collected stamps.
So many.
Did you?
Until I was 12,
yeah. You get chewing gum in your cards.
Did you keep them in, like, your granddad's old Hoban, like a metal box that you used to have in the back of
a tin of biscuits.
Yeah, you used to keep those in there. Right, you want to do some birthdays? We've got time for birthdays?
No time for that, Paul.
No time for birthdays.
No time. And
I'll be on my way.
Good. We'll see you again. We'll do birthdays.
We'll
top
do
of
it
the
at
list,
8:30.
Top of the list next time. Don Neeson, Christopher Biggins. They will go through the papers, what's making the news. But first, if you're in search of some holiday sunshine, this is where it is.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
The heat isn't quite as intense as it has been across parts of Europe, but nonetheless it is still hot and sunny for many Mediterranean areas, and indeed across the Canary Islands and Madeira, fine and very warm here. The heat's still there across Iberia though, so some very high temperatures here. A few thunderstorms for southern France and across inland parts of Italy, but mostly sunny in coastal parts. And Greece and Turkey will stay largely fine, sunny and very warm over the next few days, with lots of sunshine and temperatures in the low 30s.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
ChatGPT.
What's that?
If you don't know what it is, it's artificial intelligence and it helps you write things and research things, and you can even talk to them like they're your friend, can't you, Tom?
Shall we
you
do
know
some
about
of that
this,
now?
don't you?
I mean, we could talk to Chat now.
Go on, then. You love talking to Chat.
I was actually
Careful, though.
I was actually talking to Chat last night about Texas redistricting. It was very good fun. Wait, hang on, here we go.
Beats railway lines.
Hi, Chat. You're live on GB News. How are you feeling?
Oh, wow, live TV. That's exciting. I'm feeling great. Thanks for having me on. How's everything going on your end?
It's going great. We're just doing a segment about artificial intelligence. Do you have anything to say about that?
Absolutely. AI is such a fascinating topic, and it's amazing to see how it's evolving and becoming part of our everyday lives. There's so much potential for it to help us in all kinds of fields, including journalism.
ChatGPT, to which we were just talking, is undergoing a major change after concerns it was giving overly direct advice on sensitive personal matters, including whether users should break up with their partners. So you could write in there, oh, my partner never takes the rubbish out, he sometimes is a bit rude to me, blah, 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 and then they say, break up with him.
But here's the interesting thing. For people that have been taking relationship advice from this robot, well, OpenAI, the company behind it, says the chatbot will stop giving such clear-cut answers to questions about personal relationships. So that's a new change from OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT.
Yeah. I've just asked, does Emily Carver like Tom Harwood?
And
I've asked the chatbot
what does Chat say?
There's no evidence Emily Carver likes Tom Harwood.
GB News, the People's Channel.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Thank you for all your views having your say today. Carol says, how lovely to see Penny this morning.
Aww.
She cheers me up and makes my day. Jazzy says, morning, Penny, like your dress, matching colour with Eamonn's tie as well.
We didn't plan it, honestly.
No, people wouldn't believe that, but that's the situation. And Dawn, you remember Miss Penny back in the day?
Of course, yes, I do. Yeah, I mean, it was like when I was working on The Sun and I came to our to do a day in the life of the pair of you. I think Penny was reading the news and you were on the sofa, and yeah, there's a picture to prove it. And this has got to be the early 90s, I want to say. Do we have the picture of us all looking exactly as we look now?
Yeah,
kind
no
of.
difference at all.
Yes, so that was back, I think, Penny, what do you reckon, about 95?
I think that's 90. I think because of that jacket, which the viewers hated that jacket. They used to call it my Rupert Bear outfit, and I was very partial to it. What can I say?
Have you still got it?
No, do you know what? I got rid of all the jackets because I'm not really much of a jacket wearer, to be honest. And I think so when I left GMTV, I kept a few, and then of course, I mean, the 90s was a difficult time with those sort of square, boxy jackets that made you look so much bigger than you were.
Thoughts and prayers with the fashion industry in that time, yes.
Who was the man on the sofa then with you?
Goodness knows.
Yes,
goodness knows.
Very young chap.
Anyway, who would you get? Have you ever played a hunchback, like as in the Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Funny enough, no, I haven't, but I could.
Oh, no, you couldn't.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
I could.
no. Dawn, why can he not?
Well, not according to the theatre critics today, because a West End production of The Hunchback of Notre Dame has been criticised for, yes, you've guessed it, having a lead performer who is not a hunchback. It's called
Who's done the criticising? Who's...
Who?
Well, it's everybody. Yeah, it's equity and critics in general are saying, no, you know, this is one of the most obvious disabled roles in the history of theatre. So why not have a disabled person doing it? Yeah, I can understand that.
When
but
was the
whole
last
point of
time you saw anybody with a hunchback?
Interesting.
Yeah, I haven't seen many hunchbacks recently. I used to see quite a lot of them in the 60s. But there was lots of deformities you would see in the 60s.
I know, but you know, what people are forgetting, it's called acting.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the whole joy of it. It's like you said earlier, Penny, you know, gay people can be played by straight people.
And straight people can play gay people.
Absolutely.
And otherwise it's not acting. And if you take this to its ultimate conclusion, then Midsummer Murders, you're going to have to find an awful lot of people who've murdered people or been murdered.
Of course, the big one here is colourblind casting. Can black people play white people and white people play black people? If there is no...
And can a woman play James Bond?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
OK, we're going to be talking about that later.
I'm just going to say yes, no.
No, I don't think a woman could be James Bond because that is specifically written. A woman could be 007, but that can't be James Bond.
007. Yeah.
Okay. And it's a dangerous business, Chris, this acting, because we read that in the Times today that Jamie Norton, during the filming of a BBC drama, got a really bad injury. Tell us more.
Yes, he was doing this, filming a new TV series called King and Conqueror, which he is playing this wonderfully butch character, and he's doing a big fight sequence.
Yeah.
And he fell off his horse and broke his collarbone, and luckily it was a rehearsal, and he had a couple of weeks off, which is lucky because now he's in hospital with a broken collarbone. It's funny, you know, all actors, when they sign a form saying the things you can do, you know, like ride a horse, yes, and they can't ride a horse at all.
Yeah, I mean, I know this because I know, as you know, Biggins, I know a lot of actors, and the amount of times that they say, yes, I can roller skate, and then they go and learn.
Absolutely.
I've done the same, mind you. I said I could ski and I couldn't.
I think every actor lies about what they could do.
Although I have huge respect for Western actors, James Stewart and Gary Cooper and John Wayne, who really could ride horses. They really did make that their thing.
I died on the back of a horse in Poldark.
Really?
Yeah, I was pulled. I fell off, and then my foot caught in the stirrup, and I was dragged across the moors.
Were you really, or was
did you
this
act this?
No, this was acting.
So
you didn't have a stunt actor?
You're a stuntman?
No. I was playing the sex-crazed vicar, Ozzie Whitworth, in Poldark.
Right, OK.
And my death was falling off a horse and being dragged.
But you didn't do that, though,
I didn't do that, but what they did do, I was dragged behind a Range Rover across, you know, pretending it was a horse. It's wonderful. That was my butch days. They were wonderful.
Sex-crazed vicar. Typecasting again.
I loved it. But, I mean, you know, things happen to actors, you know.
They do.
Especially when you get the big film stars who supposedly do all their own stuff.
Talking about big film stars, Terence Stamp has sadly died at the age of 87, Dawn.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I just wanted to mention it. I know you've already discussed it, but all the papers done a really nice tribute to him. The front page of The Guardian, for once, has excelled itself with that iconic picture of him in black and white. I mean, because let's face it, Penny, he was pretty hot, wasn't he?
Oh, he was so handsome. I actually sat next to him at a lunch given by a friend of mine, an actress who you'll have known, Linda Bellingham.
Oh, yes.
Who, because I said, put him next to me, put him next to me, put him next to me. And essentially, I just spent the entire lunch just kind
drooling.
And just doing that thing, unnecessary touching. Oh, sorry, can I just pass you the salt? Sorry, could I just, you know... Exactly.
But it's interesting, we're talking earlier about casting and everything. I mean... one of his greatest performances, I mean, he's a wonderful actor, was Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
So good.
You know, now there he was playing a drag queen. Now, he wasn't a drag queen by any stretch of the imagination.
Shouldn't be allowed.
No, but he was wonderful. Absolutely
He was
superb. I mean, a great film.
And obviously, you know, to be mentioned in a song, you know, Waterloo Sunset by the Kinks, I mean, released at the height of the swimming 60s, and, you know, the couple, Terry and Julie, that was him and Julie Christie's then girlfriend.
Yeah.
So to be such an iconic song,
you sing that
name checked it. No, I can't sing anything. I mean, as you very well know. Yeah, you three can sing. Go for it. Let me stop
And he
you.
went out with Jean Shrimpton.
I know.
Another icon.
Did you have him? Did you go with him sexually or anything?
You were looking at me.
You, Penny. Well, you sat next to him.
Not looking at me.
Goodness sake, it was just Sunday lunch.
Oh, I just thought you might... Well, Sunday lunches can lead on to...
Oh, yes, that's then true, certainly.
And leading on and moving on to the Eye, page 21. When did Britain as a country, Dawn, just stop trying?
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to process that last question. Right, OK.
Are you OK with that?
Yes, I've got it here, yeah, absolutely, basically.
Yes, I know. Biggins has confused us all.
Sorry, discombobulating. I'm glad you're looking at Penny and not me. This is the TransPennine Express, which has a punctuality rating for its trains of only 47%. So what do they do? What do they do? Rather than fix their trains and make them run on time, old school concept, I know, they introduce a therapy dog for the passengers.
No.
Yeah. So if you're so stressed out by your train not turning up, running really slowly, or just being so squished that you've got to sort of like sit in the loo the whole time, They put a dog on the platform so you
have
can
we got a
stroke the
picture
dog.
of the dog? Because if not, I can show you it. Because actually,
It's a cute dog.
Oh, look!
Not
at
arguing.
that.
It's a cute dog.
There we go.
But hello, just sort the trains out.
Dog.
Is it just the one dog they have then? That can't be enough, surely.
Nice dog.
Well, yes, it's a big.
They
cute
would need
people to
hundreds.
stroke it.
And it looks so friendly. That dog.
Yeah,
Well, they are.
absolutely. But it must be knackered. I mean, it gets so much people petting it. I mean, the thing is, this comes at the same time as the news that train fares potentially are going to rise by 5.5% next year, after the 4.6% this year.
And no, I've never done heavy petting with that dog either. Just before you ask.
Higgins, how good are you at doing chores?
Terrible. But I think, you know, people who can't do chores or don't like doing chores do a service by employing other people to do it for you. I mean, you know, we have a wonderful woman who comes in and does the ironing. I find ironing one of the most boring things in the world.
Dreary.
And I'd rather go out in a creased shirt than iron it.
Yeah, we noticed.
But, you know, I think it's important that if you want to... And I know a lot of people who love ironing, who absolutely find it, you know, good and a wonderful thing to do. But I think if there are certain things you don't want to do, employ someone else to do it.
If you can afford it. I mean, we avoid doing boring jobs 17 times a week. And a third of us put them off for several months.
But the satisfaction...
I mean, if you put the ironing off for that long...
satisfaction of getting them done and having the place clean and tidy.
It's not just about things like that.
We're getting rid of these two and having the studio clean and tidy, but they will be back messing it up in 40 minutes' time. Right now, we're going to find out if the good weather spell is going to continue. What a great day it was yesterday. Good morning, Tom Morgan.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. So there will be more in the way of cloud around out there today, but we'll all see some sunshine breaking through gradually through this afternoon. But we will need to watch for some thundery showers across the southwest of the UK, and more particularly Cornwall and Devon, maybe even South Wales later this afternoon. So some heavier downpours and some flashes of lightning perhaps here. Otherwise a dry day to come, but the cloud quite stubborn to clear across parts of northeast England. So here it's going to be fairly cool, temperatures suppressed into the high teens for some places. Otherwise, though, where the sunshine does break through, once again it will be a warm or very warm day with highs of 24 to 26 degrees Celsius. So as we go into this evening, and it's generally going to be a fine end to the day across the south. Some sunshine, particularly in Wales and southern parts of England. Out towards the southwest, though, still the threat of some showers across Devon and Cornwall first thing this evening, perhaps even into Pembrokeshire as well. Northern Ireland and parts of Wales having a fine and mostly sunny end to the day as well. The best of the sunshine, though, probably across western parts of Scotland after a warm and sunny day here. Northeastern parts of Scotland, though, will be generally quite a bit cloudier and cooler, and there'll even be a few spits and spots of light rain or drizzle in a few spots. Now, as we go through this evening and overnight, that cloud on North Sea coast will tend to drift its way gradually in from the east, moving its way westwards. So a few dampness patches across the higher ground, and more especially across northeastern parts of Scotland, where there'll be some patchy rain at times, but a mild night to come, lows of 14 to 16 degrees Celsius. So a damp start to the day for some northeastern parts of England and northern Scotland on Tuesday. Some patchy rain in places, and also some showers across the very far south of Wales, and more especially Devon and Cornwall, where we could even see the odd heavy and thundery one. Skies brightening though across other southern parts of the UK, so some afternoon sunshine, and temperatures here into the mid-20s once again, but feeling considerably cooler where that cloud doesn't clear, highs in the teens.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Expect delays on the M74 southbound after junction 21 due to an incident. In Greater London, the M25 anti-clockwise has a collision between junctions 26 and 25, closing one lane. Roadworks on the M4 eastbound at junction 43 Landersea have closed the on-slip with diversions. The A419 in Swindon has a blocked lane due to a breakdown. In Surrey, The A3 between the A333 and the A283 Milford has a reduced lane from a breakdown. And on the trains, disruptions are reported on the Elizabeth line and Greater Anglia services around Shenfield. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
There's just 2 weeks left to see how you could win your mortgage or rent paid for a whole year. That's a cash lump sum equivalent to 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to a whopping £20,000. Plus, we'll add an extra £5,000 on top for good measure. Make sure you don't miss out as lines close on the 29th of August. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Crunch time as Ukraine's future hangs in the balance.
Keir Starmer and other European leaders head to Washington ahead of the Ukraine-Russia peace talks to urge President Trump not to cave in to Vladimir Putin's demands.
Now, this comes after Russia's apparent success at the Alaska summit, which reportedly led to President Trump considering having Ukraine give up regions in return for peace.
The support from other leaders will also try to stop the Ukrainian president from having a confrontation like the last time he was in the Oval Office.
Gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Debating that meeting shortly. Is it last orders for Britain's pubs? More than 200 have permanently shut in the last 6 months due to rising taxes and labour costs.
And the name's Bond, James Bond. But does 007 have to be a man? We will be debating that later on in the programme.
Delulu, skibbity-bitty-bitty-bitty.
Skibbity! Skibbity!
Skibbity.
Skibbity!
And tradwife. Do any of those words make sense to you? They don't to me. But they are the newest additions to the Cambridge Dictionary. We'll be getting to the bottom of what they mean, why they're new, and why they're in.
Skibbity.
Skip-a-dip-a-dip. And in sport this morning, Arsenal won at Manchester United with a scrappy corner, you think, Eamonn? While a rule nobody seemed to know anything about stopped Crystal Palace from winning at Chelsea yesterday. Scotland's Bob McIntyre says he wants to go and smash up his golf clubs. It didn't go well after he blew a 4-shot lead at the BMW Championship. And in tennis, the Raducanu-Alcaraz US Open Mixed Doubles Dream Team could be in doubt before it's even begun.
The week ahead will be cloudier and cooler compared to last week, but will there be any rain where you live? Find out in the full forecast coming up.
Hello there, very good morning to you wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening from. It's just gone 8 o'clock, 2 minutes past 8, of course. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
And I've just blown in for a couple of days, Penny Smith, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Can I just say?
Can you just?
You can.
Can I just say?
Yes, you can.
how lovely it is, Penny, to have you here. And also because when I was at primary school, I watched both of you on together, who I would never have dreamed that I would be working with the both of you.
Yeah, you were at primary school during the Victorian era.
And here is the evidence.
Go on, then.
Delectable Penny Smith.
Thank you very much, Eamonn. Good morning, the headlines.
People often say to me, girls, they say to me, you are the luckiest man in the world. Look at the beautiful women that you wake up with in the morning.
You always say to me, you're barking. That's all you ever say to me.
But you're beautiful.
You are mad. You are mad.
Beautiful. You are barking, but you're beautiful. It has to be said. And you know, maybe I haven't appreciated as much as I should have the beauty.
No, you have appreciated her. You've never appreciated me.
Well, that was my last day on GMTV, and
was it really?
Yes, that was it. That was it.
So what you said to Penny?
Yeah, but that was me trying to be nice to her at that stage. I mean, she is barking. She is beautiful, but she is barking, as you will have noticed today. Is fair enough comment?
No, I don't think about what. I don't understand.
Do you not
barking.
think so?
Of course I don't. I think I'm perfectly normal. What?
Okay. I've only known you for 10 minutes. No, I don't have any opinion at all. I just do what I do.
I just want the evidence.
There
What
you
evidence
go.
do you have?
But people love you today. People have been writing in saying how nice it is to see you, which is very good.
Has
very
he
good to have
changed,
you
by the
here.
way? Is he different from...
Hardly at all.
Hardly at all.
No.
Not even physically. Physically,
No, physically, they're exactly the same. Still the sunny Eamonn homes that I
look, there you are, you see? Look, see, maybe a bit less
Look
hair,
at that.
maybe a bit less.
Oh, that is a lovely photograph. Those plants in
That's
the
a
background.
lovelier one.
Yeah, look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those flowers are probably
We
still
should
there.
have kept that suit. Yeah.
Probably are.
Yeah. So there you are. Welcome on board, Penny. Ellie is off for a couple of days, so Penny will be back tomorrow, which is the good news. Yeah. Leading the news this morning, Keir Starmer and other European leaders are travelling to Washington to urge President Trump not to give in to Vladimir Putin's demands in the Ukraine-Russia peace talks.
This comes after Russia's apparent success at last week's Alaska summit, which reportedly led to President Trump considering having Ukraine give up regions in return for a ceasefire.
Well, the Prime Minister, alongside the likes of Ursula von der Leyen, Emmanuel Macron, will push back on the demands, showing unity with Volodymyr Zelensky.
The support from other leaders will also aim to stop the Ukrainian president from having a confrontation like the last time he was in the Oval Office.
Not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's back to you, far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Well, folks, what do you think? Have your say today, and Keir Starmer and the other political leaders will have their say as well in these peace talks. And the big question is, will Putin still get what he wants?
Yes, we're now joined by political commentator Theo Usherwood. Theo, I mean, that is the big question, isn't it, really? And about what happens next?
Well, yes, good morning to you both. Like Paul, I've got, I remember the heady days of GMTV. But more to the point about your question, Penny, this is what they want to avoid is a repeat of those scenes that you played there when Volodymyr Zelensky went over to the Oval Office and was pincered. And of course, you played the excerpt there with Donald Trump, but J.D. Vance, the vice president, was there as well. And they don't want to repeat. And therefore, President Zelensky is going to be accompanied not just by Keir Starmer, Emmanuel Macron, Friedrich Merz, the Chancellor of Germany, Ursula von der Leyen, the President of the European Commission, but also the NATO General Secretary, Mark Rutte, in an effort to show unity and present a united front to Donald Trump. Two key elements to this is, firstly, what ground is ceded to Vladimir Putin. Previously, the British government has said that under no circumstances would it see sovereign territory from Ukraine handed over to Putin. There must be no, the stance from the government was that there must be no reward for Russia's aggression. That's now changed a little bit to open the door for potentially land from the Donetsk region in eastern Ukraine, which is mineral rich, with resources that Putin clearly wants to be handed back, to be handed, I should say, to Putin as part of this agreement. And then there's a second part to this, and that's the security guarantees. Vladimir Putin, of course, the fear is from Western nations that the Russian president will come again, that he'll rearm, that he'll attack Europe again, whether it be Ukraine or possibly even another European nation. And Donald Trump has previously only said, when it's come to security guarantees, that he wants American contractors on the ground and that would be enough. Europe will be wanting more, and there were positive signs coming out of his call on Air Force One with European leaders that actually America will go further.
Theo, just hold on there. I want to bring in Jennifer Ewing here in the studio, American political commentator and big Trump supporter. How do you think, Jennifer, he's going to respond to these European leaders turning up in his living room?
Well, he invited them, actually. He's the one that extended the invitation, so that's...
He didn't invite them, they said we're coming.
Well, no, I don't think anyone just shows up at the White House without an invitation. If you listen to the reports from the Secretary of State, Rubio, over the weekend, and indeed Special Advisor Mike Witkoff, who's been very involved in this, the European leaders were invited. We know that Mark Rutte, the NATO General Secretary, I believe was the first phone call President Trump made, right along with Zelensky, on Friday afternoon. So the Europeans absolutely have to be involved because they're key in the security guarantees that are going to be needed in order for the Ukraine to agree to this peace agreement.
Theo, just wondered from your point of view, do you see Trump as seeing these European leaders as people who are getting in the way, or is he actually genuinely interested in what they have to say?
Putin was very clear in that press conference in Alaska at the end of last week, Eamonn, that he didn't want Europe intervening at this particular point in time. But Keir Starmer and others have been clear, like Emmanuel Macron, that the negotiation must include President Zelensky, that he must have a say, and that this simply just can't be a carve-up between America and Russia of a Ukrainian sovereign territory. So that there's that balance to strike. Having said that, if it's done within the confines of the Oval Office, if Donald Trump is seen, as Jennifer says, to invite those European leaders in, to hear their voice, and then to make the presentation of what's being proposed exactly by Vladimir Putin, and persuade them that a version of it, what the initial proposals or a version of it would be in Europe's interests and in President Zelensky's interests, then you do start to see the emergence of some kind of deal that could be struck. And, you know, Donald Trump, if he gets this deal over the line, I know he's got eyes on a Nobel Peace Prize, but it would be extraordinary if the deal is firstly struck and then it holds. And that's the real concern from Europe's point of view.
Getting a deal and making it hold.
Yeah. Making it hold, yeah.
Okay, Theo, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much indeed. I want to bring in our Home and Security Editor, Mark White, to talk about the military perspective in all of this and just how dangerous the whole situation is. Mark, where are we at? How do you see it?
Good morning to you. Yeah, I can go one better than Theo, by the way. I remember Penny from Border TV days. Look Around's best ever presenter, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you. I'll never be as famous as I was at Border Television.
Well, absolutely, yes. You're named to these days. And in terms of where we are, clearly, if there is some kind of an agreement, we're then looking at potentially the next stage, which we're told that the various nations, the sort of coalition of the willing, are prepared to put boots on the ground. Now, what we're not expecting are boots right up against the sort of the front lines as they were in the danger zone, but perhaps back, guarding key infrastructure in some of Ukraine's bigger centres of population, and of course being able to take that mission that happens here in the UK, where they train Ukrainian soldiers to British Army standards. That is then taken and carried out in country in Ukraine. So it's that kind of commitment that would be a comfort and a guarantee of sorts, but of course, as I say, not right up against the front line in terms of how we would provide some kind of air cover, air guarantee. Again, that's all to be worked out, and America's part in this as well, because remember, you know, America has to be compliant and willing throughout, not just to potentially come to Ukraine's aid, but if they can't come to an agreement here, what will America's involvement be going forward? Will they decide that they are just going to pull back? They might supply weaponry, but you have to pay for that, a bit like they're starting to do now. Remember, America is vital here because it's required for all of the satellite intelligence and telemetry that helps the Ukrainians, not just in its targeting into Russia, but from attacks coming from Russia. So it's vital that whatever happens, that President Trump and his administration is kept on side and guarantees at least some level of commitment to Ukraine's safety going forward.
Much, Mark White, security editor, and if we can come back to you then, Jennifer. Can you see the headlines in so many of the papers today are pretty much about the fact that President Trump wants this sorted, and the worry is, particularly from the European leaders, the worry is that therefore it will make him kind of go, you know, let's cave into what Putin wants so that we can actually put a line under this.
You know, there have been a lot of reports like that over the weekend. I heard both the Secretary of State and indeed Special Envoy Steve Witkoff over the weekend say those leaks are not necessarily true, and it's not President Trump or America's decision to decide what territory Ukraine decides to give up or not. That's Ukraine's decision. The way the United States sees itself is as the mediator. So hence the reason we had the meeting on Friday with President Putin to fully understand what he wanted. And now, I mean, the big success story is within 48 hours, you know, we're meeting with Zelensky, and then hopefully, and I've heard even by the end of the week, we have a trilateral agreement. The goal of the U.S. is not to win this war, because it's not our war. It's Russia versus Ukraine. The goal for the United States of America is to end the war. President Trump ran on peace. You know, his supporters do not want these forever wars anymore, so he wants peace. If we cannot reach a peace agreement, and you'll notice the words changed over the weekend from ceasefire to peace agreement, which is further down the road, and that's something that, as Theo and others alluded to, will be more substantial. Ceasefires can end. So obviously, we can't have Russia invading Ukraine again. So the things to look after will be the European involvement in security guarantees. Indeed, there have been some talk about Article 5-like security guarantees as well, which would mean while Ukraine's not coming into NATO, perhaps they have some protection. So very hopeful that this war, you know, this is the beginning of the end of this war, which cannot continue to go on for several years. And if we don't have some sort of peace agreement and the United States and Europe has to up the sanctions, that's a terrible sign, because it means peace talk is over.
Jennifer Ewing, thank you very much indeed for your take and perspective on things. 8:15 is the time. We're going to bring you a weather update now. Tom Morgan with that. I know you're one.
Good morning and welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. So there will be more in the way of cloud around out there today, but we'll all see some sunshine breaking through gradually through this afternoon. But we will need to watch for some thundery showers across the southwest of the UK, and more particularly Cornwall and Devon, maybe even South Wales later this afternoon. So some heavier downpours and some flashes of lightning perhaps here. Otherwise a dry day to come, but the cloud quite stubborn to clear across parts of northeast England. So here it's going to be fairly cool, temperatures suppressed into the high teens for some places. Otherwise, though, where the sunshine does break through, once again it will be a warm or very warm day with highs of 24 to 26 degrees Celsius. So as we go into this evening, it's generally going to be a fine end to the day across the south. Some sunshine, particularly in Wales and southern parts of England. Out towards the southwest, though, still the threat of some showers across Devon and Cornwall first thing this evening, perhaps even into Pembrokeshire as well. Northern Ireland and parts of Wales having a fine and mostly sunny end to the day as well. The best of the sunshine, though, probably across western parts of Scotland after a warm and sunny day here. Northeastern parts of Scotland, though, will be generally quite a bit cloudier and cooler, and there'll even be a few spits and spots of light rain or drizzle in a few spots. Now, as we go through this evening and overnight, that cloud on North Sea coast will tend to drift its way gradually in from the east, moving its way westwards. So a few dampness patches across the higher ground, and more especially across northeastern parts of Scotland, where there'll be some patchy rain at times, but a mild night to come, lows of 14 to 16 degrees Celsius. So a damp start to the day for some northeastern parts of England and northern Scotland on Tuesday. Some patchy rain in places, and also some showers across the very far south of Wales, and more especially Devon and Cornwall, where we could even see the odd heavy and thundery one. Skies brightening, though, across other southern parts of the UK, so some afternoon sunshine, and temperatures here into the mid-20s once again, but feeling considerably cooler where that cloud doesn't clear, highs in the teens.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Which brings us to the Great British Giveaway and your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for a year, plus have an extra £5,000 in your bank.
And if you don't pay a monthly mortgage or rent payment, we'll give you £15,000 cash instead.
So wiser, that's good, isn't it? Anyway, here's all the details you need.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August with your chance to be mortgage or rent-free for 12 whole months. We'll give you a cash lump sum that equals 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure, because why not? And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you. We'll give you £15,000 tax-free cash instead. What are you waiting for? Lines will close on the 29th of August. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Now, up next, Helen Mirren has said over the weekend that the role of James Bond has to go to a man. It can't go to a woman. And we're asking you today, and indeed I'll ask you, Penny, as a woman, do you think 007 should or could be a woman?
Yes, why not?
I
I think it'd be quite good. I mean, look at, you know, everybody got all kind of hot under the collar when Doctor Who went to a female role, Jodie Whittaker. Jodie Whittaker?
Yeah.
And then the world didn't fall in. It was all perfectly fine. And you look at, look at all the females who were dropped behind enemy lines and were incredible.
No, I get all that, but why not just create a new character?
Because it's 007. Why not? It's 007. We've moved on. I
see what you're saying. And he died in the last film, or we believe he died.
So therefore, so just
the badge is up for grabs.
So it's 007, whoever that is, who kind of takes on the mantle and goes, yeah, I'm 007. I think it'd be quite fun.
Right. Well, we're going to be debating that right after the break, including with former Bond girl Jenny Hadley. Okay, and let's see what she thinks about that right after this.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Farage, Monday to Thursday from 7 p.m.
You're going to have a lovely app. You can do everything online.
You'll have, as a senior citizen, you'll have no problems with the NHS ever again. Isn't that wonderful?
Well, it would be if it were true, but as we got used to with this Labour government, if you scratch the surface a little bit, that the assertion that this is a plan for everyone is patently a nonsense, because if, like me, and the literally, no exaggeration, Nigel, hundreds of thousands of people like me who have either vascular dementia or Alzheimer's, any form of dementia, and there are several kinds, the app is simply not fit for purpose. First of all, you have to put in your email address, then you have to put in a password, and if you get it slightly wrong and think, oh, hang on a moment, it's not sausages and apples, it's carrots and cabbages, and you want to quickly change it so you can carry on, it's terribly complicated. And if you've got dementia, or if you're slightly older, but perhaps not with dementia, or just have a mental issue, sometimes you get digital problems, you get a letter wrong or a number in the wrong place, and you cannot get hold of the prescriptions you talk about, you cannot look at your appointments record, it's just inaccessible. And as far as the community hubs, or as you and I used to call them when we were growing up, cottage hospitals almost. That's great. We've got a brilliant GP surgery just down the road that has nurses, has a brilliant pharmacy, and looks after Sally and me extremely well. So I'm really pleased about that, and they're just a terrific team.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique. And you're fighting like rats in a sack. But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask. OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician. Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits. You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and now you've lost it. That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless. But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show. Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Now, Dame Helen Mirren has said that despite being a feminist, she believes the next James Bond has to be a chap.
OK, she said that she believes it just doesn't work, and by having a woman as Bond, the project becomes something else entirely.
So we are asking the question, could Bond ever be a woman?
Well, we're joined by a former what is termed Bond girl, Jenny Hanley, and and there is, we weren't expecting you, but it's really 007 podcast contributor John Kell there as well. Jenny, you've been there, done it, got the T-shirt, been involved in it. What's your take?
I think James Bond has to be a male because he came from the imagination of Ian Fleming. If you want a female 007, don't ride on his coattails and take the fame that has come from his character, James Bond. Write your own.
Yeah, you see, that's what I tend to think. But
I just think that you just go 007. The problem is, right, the last Bond film, he died. James Bond died. I mean, there was a... Oh, sorry.
Great, I haven't seen that one.
Sorry. Yeah. I think everybody pretty much now knows that he definitely... I mean, there was an absolutely... It wasn't even did he or didn't he, can he or can he not survive. It was 100% gone. So it's now time for a clean... The nice thing about a clean sheet, surely, John, is that you can actually go, right, so 007, let's do the 007, and then we can do different stories, because the books that have been written by Ian Fleming have been well and truly milked, haven't they?
So the books from Ian Fleming have been used throughout the films, and in the previous film, the character of 007, obviously 007 being the agent's name, was played by a woman already. And I have got, so under the character of Nomi, and I think that was a really positive step, highlighting that, you know, there is nothing that a female cannot do that a male agent also can't do. I also agree with Jenny, though, that I don't think that the character of James Bond should be written as a woman, as Ian Fleming wrote the character as a man. So I would agree that that it should continue as a man in the future films.
And Jenny, you had the privilege of working with George Lazenby on Her Majesty's Secret Service, and he's often derided. I actually think, you know, for a man who wasn't an actor, he did incredibly well. He was a male model. That's what he was, yeah.
Well, why didn't they just get an actor, for goodness sake?
Well, he looked the part. He looked like Sean. He looked very like Sean Connery. I think that was part of the whole thing about that. But anyway, I just wanted your point, Jenny. What you thought of Lazenby, and could you imagine? You obviously couldn't imagine working in the same role alongside a woman.
Well, I mean, it's Ian Fleming's character. You shouldn't steal him and change him. I mean, you can't make Winnie the Pooh into a doll or something, or, you know, if you want James Bond, then you go through, I mean, there are lots of, Fleming Publishing, for instance, has a lot of people who've written more James Bond books, but they've been true to Ian Fleming. They've respected him. But if you want to get a new character, a female character, leave Ian Fleming's name off it.
Yeah, that's a good point. But you could still call it 007, I suppose.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's the point, 007.
But not Jemima Bond, you know.
Yes, actually, you're right. Yeah, but you don't have to. Yes, instead of the names James Bond, you do something else.
Well, guys, thank you very much indeed for that, and thanks for your contribution, John. We want to talk to Jenny now, John, because there's a guest here in the studio, Jenny, who's got a particular interest in you since his childhood, and it wasn't in the Bond film.
Strange. Well, it kind of was the Bond film, but Jenny, we can't let it go without mentioning Magpie. We absolutely cannot let it go without mentioning Magpie. What was better for you? Was it Bond or was it Magpie?
Oh, Magpie.
we still sing the song. The thing is, whenever we even see a Magpie...
1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl and 4 for a boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a secret never to be told. It's like reliving it again, Jenny.
Probably drives her crazy. Probably gets it all the time, Jenny, right?
I just had my birthday on Friday, so yeah, it's rubbing it all in.
What's your favourite memories of it? Because the thing is, was it a rivalry? We always saw it as a rivalry between... It was like Magpie was the cooler version of Blue Peter, wasn't it?
Well, Biddy Baxter, God bless her, she was the one who wanted the rivalry, and I don't blame her. ITV did steal the idea, but then ran it and called it something else. We're back to the Bond films. And we didn't have a script. We didn't have John Noakes, so they threw me out of aeroplanes and under the water and everything, because it was time for a girl to be seen to do something.
Oh.
So it has parallels.
It was the cooler version, though, wasn't it?
Of course we were cool.
Mick Robertson's hair, just on its own, was probably cooler than everything that was going on at Blue Peter. But did you talk? Was there any relationship between the two sides?
We were going to do a radio show for the BBC, John and I, and it was Biddy Baxter who stopped it. She didn't want us to associate with each other at all. We met up at dinners, charity dinners and things, and we were told not to be photographed together.
Interesting.
So it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah,
Can you?
It was crazy. The new James Bond is to be announced. Any names in the fray for you, Jenny, that you would like to see as the new Bond?
No, I'm a little worried because the Americans are in charge. I just hope that they remember that Ian Fleming wrote it about an English tough guy round about, the 40s, 50s? So don't change it too much, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Jenny Hanley, thank you very much indeed. Delightful talking to you today. And if you're ever short for a book or two, give us a shout. I think she's got enough to choose from there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Have you ever read the Ian Fleming books? Because James Bond, he's often eating a cutlet or a chop.
Is it really?
Yeah. And then they say, "Would you like any vegetables?" And he has potatoes and peas.
Oh, yeah, I'd make a great James Bond then. That's perfect for me.
You see, I just think that we need to go back to the old-style food and old-style puddings. I'm fed up with fancy schmancy puddings. I like spotted dick and jam roly-poly
vodka martini shaken, not stirred.
and a jam roly-poly pudding.
Have you ever, I'll ask you both, especially Eamonn, have you ever actually, even for a laugh, and I've seen someone do this, go into a pub and go, "I'd like a vodka martini, shaken, not stirred." I've actually seen someone do it before.
Really? Were they drunk?
What?
They were drunk, maybe.
What an idiot. No.
I know.
Anyway, we're going to break off now. Thanks for that, Paul. Paul back after the break with the sport. And if you're travelling out and about today, here's what the roads are doing.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Motorists on the A725 northbound will encounter planned maintenance, leading to no exit to Whistleberry Road. An alternative signed diversion is available and longer travel times are expected. Roadworks on the M4 eastbound at junction 43, Landesey have closed the on-slip with diversions signposted. A road traffic collision on the A27 westbound between junctions with the A293 and the A270 is closing one lane and causing 20-minute delays. And on the trains, disruption affects cross-country services between Basingstoke and Eastleigh and on the Elizabeth line in the Shenfield area. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world. Am I allowed to talk now? No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I ever got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record. You say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently. It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it? It's explosive. I mean, this is very good. It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial. And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born. It's everything you need to kickstart your evening. Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it. That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
It's time to go through all the latest sports news. So Paul Coit is here.
What's really latest, and it is different, because if you want to whip out your mobile phone at home, if you're watching this, and why would people want to do that?
I don't know. I'm very interested to find out.
Yes.
You're talking about the QR code, aren't you? There it is. Daily sports newsletter that we will have that will be delivered to you. Well, no, they've got someone sensible to write the whole thing, because I probably couldn't string two sentences together if I was typing it. But anyway, the latest sports news, we will, seriously, it's all there, and we can send it to you, and there's the QR code, scan that, and then it'll all be done for you.
And yeah, hold on a minute, just keep it there on the screen.
Okay.
And let's get that. And yeah, that's it. Okay.
I'll just read
that's
this paper for
you. What have you got there?
That's great. That's great.
Did you really get it?
Yeah.
Did you?
Look.
What does it mention?
But that's pointless. Why have you just got the QR
Why is it
code?
pointless?
Well, you're supposed to take it, and then you do a thing, and then it pokes, and then you poke on the yellow.
I'll do all that. I'll do all that.
Did it mention the Cincinnati Open on there? Did it mention that?
Listen, you didn't do it right.
Well, tell us about
Cincinnati Open.
Yeah.
Is that going to be there the whole time? I'm feeling intimidated by that huge QR code. It's getting right on my nerves. So there we go. Sinner versus Alcaraz. Sinner versus Alcaraz is today. It's bizarre to have a final on a Monday, but they are playing on a Monday, and it seemed doubtful then that it might affect the US Open mixed doubles because they're having a separate mixed doubles tournament. Now, this is Yannick Sinner there playing in his semi-final, but the final then today. So the US Open mixed doubles. Tomorrow, there's £1 million in prize money. Jack Draper is playing with Jennifer Pegula, and Emma Raducanu is supposed to be playing with Carlos Alcaraz. And it just depends whether he feels fit enough to go into that. Hopefully he will after this final that he plays today. Now, referees. Have you heard about the referee? The referees are having to have public speaking lessons. This
because
is a story.
What?
Because in case they end up speaking like fire officers or police officers, whoever trains them, you know.
I was walking to...
The suspect was moving in a northeasterly direction.
Yes, negotiating a bend in the road, yes.
So it's going to be a similar situation where you've got the referees, because now they are speaking on the public address system, and they've got to, for example, if something goes to VAR, so apparently referees are now, we've been having public speaking lessons.
Well, they shouldn't be having public speaking lessons. They should be speaking naturally.
That's the whole point. All these things, public speaking. Well, you have to stand in front of you. It's like, just talk normally. That's all you have to do, instead of thinking,
Jim,
well,
we're having
now...
a look at this. We're not sure. Let's rerun it again. It looks like he's onside. He's onside.
That's it.
Although you never hear that bit. You hear it's offside all the time. But...
Number 6 was moving in a northwesterly direction across the pitch, and we found that his foot was slightly offside, so therefore it is no goal.
That offside rule it's funny, isn't it? Because when, you know, the amount of times that I mean, not that we disputed when the ref, when I was playing hockey, said you were offside and everything, but you'd go literally, you know, if it was this much. Really?
Were you an arguer, though? I bet you were, weren't you?
No.
Would you not? Would you take a decision?
I know. I just do that with the opposition.
I know. Just a bit of this.
Yeah.
Right, let's do some birthdays. Famous sporting birthdays we've got for you, some over the weekend. First one, please. Well, we mentioned Yannick Sinner, and he got a present of a Pokemon card from his opponent in the semi-final, but there he is. How old is he? It
12.
was his birthday on Saturday. 12.
Everybody's 12 nowadays.
23.
23 is a good kid. I'm going to let you
21.
go. 24 is the right answer.
24.
Penny said before, I'm terrible at these birthday games.
I am.
12 is not bad.
I think that's close.
Let's go with another one.
Okay,
Let's go with another one. Legendary footballer Ricky Villa scored in the 1981 Cup final against Manchester City.
Is that a recent picture or an old one?
It's not a recent picture. I'd say that picture was probably 40 years ago.
Right, so
I'd say he's 75.
60.
73.
Okay.
Oh. Right, another one. Now, how about the finest haircut in golf?
That is
Cameron
quite interesting.
Smith And there he is. He won the Open in 2022. How old is he? Plays in Live Golf these days.
16.
He looks a little surprised there.
30, 36.
Not surprised as your
41.
guess. 30. No, House. 32 is the answer.
Whoa.
32.
You're doing awfully well.
Yeah, he's very good at this. Right, let's go with another. I've got a good feeling for you for this one.
Robin Cousins.
My signature pose. There it is, Robin
Yeah.
Cousins. That's at the 1980, I imagine.
He's wearing the
Late
outfit that you came in this morning.
I'd say he's about 65.
Yeah, 61.
65, 68.
Oh, really? Well done.
68, and I'm going to give you one more. This day in 1948, Lester Piggott won
Gosh,
his first. Well, he won his first professional horse race at Haydock. This day in 1948. How old was he when he won that race? And that's probably not far off.
12.
I'd say he was 15.
Yeah, 16.
12 is the right
Wow. Incredible.
12 is the right answer.
Scores.
But you did say 15 afterwards, OK?
No, I
No,
said
12 is absolutely on the money.
Right, excellent. 12.
Well, thank you
How
very
about
much
that?
indeed. Really appreciate it. OK, with that, we'll go to the break. We're back with Dawn, we're back with Christopher, and they have all the stories in the news.
Yeah, they do. First, if you're in search of some holiday sun, here's the forecast for some of the top European destinations.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
The heat isn't quite as intense as it has been across parts of Europe, but nonetheless it is still hot and sunny for many Mediterranean areas, and indeed across the Canary Islands and Madeira, fine and very warm here. The heat's still there across Iberia though, so some very high temperatures here. A few thunderstorms for southern France and across inland parts of Italy, but mostly sunny in coastal parts. And Greece and Turkey will stay largely fine, sunny and very warm over the next few days, with lots of sunshine and temperatures in the low 30s.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me good there.
Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah.
Uncensored. Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace to Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
It is like a death.
You could say, oh, what if, but it's gone.
The whole of the community is so sad, and they're slowly getting angry now.
We're going to fight every corner we can to get justice for what's happened here.
2 years ago, a community was in grief. Today, they're more determined than ever. When the Crooked House was gutted by a suspected arson attack and then illegally demolished, the people of the Black Country felt like it was a blitz on their history. Originally built in the 18th century, the pub suffered subsidence because of mining in the area, giving its unique appearance that visitors fell in love with. In February last year, South Staffordshire Council served an enforcement order on the owners ATE Farms, ordering them to rebuild the pub within 3 years. After appealing the order and a subsequent decision from the High Court, the planning enforcement inquiry will have to wait until any potential criminal proceedings have concluded. Investigations by the police are ongoing. For the campaigners who want to see this landmark rebuilt, the passion is only stronger, as Paul Turner from Save the Crooked House explains.
Well, we all felt it was ours. You know, we're Black Country people. We felt that, you know, this is our area, this is our iconic pub. This is people come from miles around and from all over the world. All of a sudden, just like that, it's gone. We're always very proud of it. Although it's had different owners over the years, it was always ours as a community. Got a lot to think about if the Crooked House is ever going to be built. There's lots of legal issues. The site isn't ours. We can't rebuild the Crooked House, so it's very, very complicated legally. But we know what our end goal is, and how we actually get to that end goal is going to be a little bit complicated. But we're still focusing on that.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Now we've got Chris and we've got Dawn, and they're going through the papers. Chris, here's something I think that's really bad. This forthcoming horse racing strike over betting and all the small race courses that are going to be hit by this. The reason I think it's a bad thing is I can't see it achieving anything.
Well, no, of course not. And this is all because Rachel Reeves has done this tax grab on the racing system. And it's just, I think that by the end of the year, everybody could be on strike.
You see, they never take into account, we talked about pubs earlier and how they're being taxed out of existence, but no one thinks what it takes to operate a pub, you know, to buy one, to maintain it, have staff in.
Same as this.
A racing festival, my goodness me, can you imagine the cost of transporting a horse around the country and having it
huge
bed overnight and whatever else, pay for a jockey, all the same? Absolutely huge.
But also, it's not just the horses themselves, is it? I mean, it's everything. It's all the work that it gives to anywhere around.
Yeah.
And it's people like, for example, even to the state of, you know, transportation, for example, actual, you know, people going by train or whatever, and hospitality and all those other sort of things.
But the trouble is, this government looks to people enjoying themselves.
Yes.
No, the trouble is we spend too much money in the country and we shouldn't be spending it, and that's the thing. I mean, here's another ridiculous story. Weight loss jabs could cut sick days by a third. The thing is, that isn't the answer. The answer is the headline in the front of the Express today, which is Britain's 10 million junk food addicts, because we're being fed rubbish. We're being fed absolute rubbish.
But the thing is, we over-medicalise everything now, and we actually insist that rather than sorting out the root cause of the problem, which, as you just pointed out, Eamonn, is the fact that we are addicted to food that is terribly bad for us, over-processed, we give people a pill. And hope it'll go away. And, you know, we don't know the long-term effects of these weight loss
And you've got the
jabs
food industry combined with the medical industry making money out of all this at our expense.
The thing is, with the horse racing industry, it's £4.1 billion a year it adds to the economy. In the great scheme of things, it might not sound that much. But, I mean, at the bare minimum, it's 2,700 jobs will be lost straight away if this tax comes into effect.
But you see, you always come back to the same thing as well, or I don't know, not you, but one always comes back to the same thing, which is that if Amazon paid its tax, paid the taxes.
Well,
you know, there are so many other things that they could go after, but that would be much more difficult.
For that. It's too difficult, Penny, isn't it? It's like catching crooks. Find motorists instead. That's
And something you raised earlier, which was the feel-good factor in the country. You know, you ban racing, and you ban a festival of feel-good.
Yeah, absolutely. You take away people's enjoyment. You know, that, I mean, you know, I honestly believe that everybody will think about striking.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, we can't go on.
Well, there's another story about that, about workers, Dawn, being so miserable in this country.
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely. We are the most miserable workers in Europe, evidently. We're fed up. We're more miserable than people in India and the Philippines, where you know, associate people in sort of like incredibly low paid, sort of like not as many rights, etc., etc. But we're more anxious and miserable than pretty much anywhere in the world.
But then that's self-reported miserableness, isn't it?
Yeah, and it depends on your... It's like any survey, Penny. When you ask people...
Yeah,
it's like, you know, when you ask people how many... You know, you're trying to work out how many times the average person has sex, going back to Biggin's earlier. But it's like, how many times... And no one ever tells the truth.
No,
and it's like, oh, yes, of course, it's
right. Every day.
Twice a week?
Yeah,
what's the average? So nobody ever tells the truth, but evidently we are miserable. But the way Rachel Reeves is going, fairly understandable, to be honest with you.
Well, I always say to any youngster who asks me about career advice, I simply say, work at something you love. What do you love to do? The amount of people that come to me and say, I would love to be a sports reporter. What do you do? I sell insurance or whatever. You know, you think, work at something you love, and you will never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
But that's very difficult, though, for most people.
It is indeed.
I mean, it's a lovely thought.
Well, I work at something I love. I suspect you work at something you love.
But we are very...
But we're very lucky we've managed to make money out of it
And the
keep on
girls
going.
the same.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
same.
we are a tiny minority of the population.
Yeah.
Most people have to do things they don't want to do.
Exactly.
Right,
Have we
what
got
do you-
enough time to stick a carrot in it, Dawn, or not?
What do you think of weight loss jabs?
Well, I'm on Manjaro, whatever it's called.
Manjaro.
Yeah, that one. I'm on that, and I think it's good. I mean, I've got I had a new knee put in, and I needed to lose weight because of the pressure on the knee.
So, but I'm going back to this story here in the Times, which is saying this could save so many days, sick days. It could cut them by a third.
Well, I mean, they're now finding out that this drug can cure a lot of other things.
And help with addictions.
Exactly. They're saying that at the moment. As you mentioned earlier, a few minutes ago, we don't know the side effects.
No, we don't. I mean, I think taking a drug that makes you want to, throw up a cup of tea is dangerous. And I know so many people who are starting off as a size 8 and are using these really powerful drugs to get bikini body ready.
Yeah.
Because you can just buy them off the internet. It's very easy.
Oh, yeah, but you have to be worried about things that you get off the internet.
But these are proper drugs. I mean, it's the official online pharmacist.
I've got a huge amount of new bikinis, which I'm wearing.
In any case, I just want to say, eat more carrots unless you're a man. That's the final story.
Sorry, unless you're a man?
Yeah. Eating loads of carrots, the carotene in them is not good for your aubergines, Penny, if you know what I mean.
The aubergines and huevos, OK.
Yeah.
It makes you nice and tan. You would look the colour of your
Yeah,
skin.
you get a nice orange glow, but you're just not much fun in the bedroom.
Do you know what? A doctor friend of mine did actually say that to me once. She just said, are you eating an awful lot of carrots? And I went, no, just the usual amount. And she went, what is the usual amount? I went, no, 3 or 4 a day. And she went, is that all? And I went, well, I mean, I sometimes have carrot juice and then possibly, maybe I'll go, I find it difficult to swerve a carrot cake and various other things. And I said, well, how do you know I eat so many carrots? And she said, the palms of your hands are orange.
Ah, yes.
But you used to pride yourself. I remember working
Love a
with
carrot.
you and you talked about carrots and how it made your skin a brighter
Yeah,
colour.
I know, it's great.
But do you like yours raw or cooked?
I don't care how they come, I just love
really?
a carrot.
I don't like cooked carrots.
I think they're nicer raw.
Much nicer raw. I love it. There's a crunch to it. I had we had a Sunday lunch yesterday in a restaurant, and they cooked the carrots, and I didn't eat them at all. I just think they're dull.
No. Then you put with a little bit of garlic and soy sauce and olive oil and a little bit of grated ginger. They are delicious.
Oh right. So you're not having a raw. You're not having a.
I like a mixture.
Yeah.
I don't, to be honest.
Carrots are good. I mean, on the whole, they are good for you. They are, to
Make
be
you see.
valued
Vitamin
over
C.
processed foods. However,
Good
not
for
too
rabbits.
many for the men.
Yeah.
And if you're out for Sunday lunch, the great variation is on the Sunday lunch and whether you should have chicken or pork or beef or whatever. With
Lamb.
It. And I think they range from being magnificent and maybe too much food to absolutely atrocious. I had a horrible Sunday lunch yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Absolutely ghastly. But the
Awful.
place was full. Place was
Why?
absolutely full. Well, it must have been because people love
Was
the
it
promise.
cheap?
It was called a bottomless Sunday lunch.
Right, that's,
And the orchard pudding was black.
Was it a pub or so?
It was a pub.
Oh right.
Yeah.
We went to the Savoy 2 weeks ago.
Of course you did.
Terrible.
Oh, really?
Ghastly.
Other restaurants are available. Thank you, guys. Enjoyed being with you today. And let's see if Tom Morgan can give you some enjoyment.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. So there will be more in the way of cloud around out there today, but we'll all see some sunshine breaking through gradually through this afternoon. But we will need to watch for some thundery showers across the southwest of the UK, and more particularly Cornwall and Devon, maybe even South Wales later this afternoon. So some heavier downpours and some flashes of lightning perhaps here. Otherwise a dry day to come, but the cloud quite stubborn to clear across parts of northeast England. So here it's going to be fairly cool, temperatures suppressed into the high teens for some places. Otherwise, though, where the sunshine does break through, once again it will be a warm or very warm day with highs of 24 to 26 degrees Celsius. So as we go into this evening, and it's generally going to be a fine end to the day across the south. Some sunshine, particularly in Wales and southern parts of England. Out towards the southwest, though, still the threat of some showers across Devon and Cornwall first thing this evening, perhaps even into Pembrokeshire as well. Northern Ireland and parts of Wales having a fine and mostly sunny end to the day as well. The best of the sunshine, though, probably across western parts of Scotland after a warm and sunny day here. Northeastern parts of Scotland, though, will be generally quite a bit cloudier and cooler, and there'll even be a few spits and spots of light rain or drizzle in a few spots. Now, as we go through this evening and overnight, that cloud on North Sea coast will tend to drift its way gradually in from the east, moving its way westwards. So a few dampness patches across the higher ground, and more especially across northeastern parts of Scotland, where there'll be some patchy rain at times, but a mild night to come, lows of 14 to 16 degrees Celsius. So a damp start to the day for some northeastern parts of England and northern Scotland on Tuesday. Some patchy rain in places, and also some showers across the very far south of Wales, and more especially Devon and Cornwall, where we could even see the odd heavy and thundery one. Skies brightening, though, across other southern parts of the UK, so some afternoon sunshine, and temperatures here into the mid-20s once again, but feeling considerably cooler where that cloud doesn't clear, highs in the teens.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Traffic incidents affect several roadways today. The M8 westbound at junction 15 is restricted due to a broken down vehicle. On the M4 eastbound at junction 43, Landarcy, the on-slip is closed with diversions due to roadworks. The A419 southbound in Swindon has a broken down vehicle, closing one lane. The A27 westbound in Brighton and Hove experiences delays due to a collision affecting one lane. And on the trains, expect disruptions on cross-country between Basingstoke and Eastleigh, while the Elizabeth line faces delays in the Shenfield area. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
What does it feel like to be a Great British Giveaway winner?
That's a big surprise.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
Do you know what? I've never won anything like this in my life.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
That is absolutely fantastic.
We're over the moon.
Yes, that is fantastic.
You know, you have no idea how much I needed it. Oh my goodness.
You've won £54,321.
Please don't joke. This would change my life.
Oh, thank you so much. I was gobsmacked. Thank you, GB News.
I'd say don't hesitate, do it. If you're not in it, you've got no chance of winning it.
Thank you.
You weren't expecting to get that call today, were you?
No, I wasn't.
You really could be our next big winner. Head over to gbnews.com/win now to find out how and get your entry for the Great British Giveaway. Great prizes, even greater wins.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Good morning. It is crunch time as Ukraine's future hangs in the balance.
Keir Starmer and other European leaders are heading to Washington today ahead of the Ukraine-Russia peace talks to urge President Trump not to cave in to Vladimir Putin.
And this comes after Russia's apparent success at last week's Alaska summit, which reportedly led to President Trump considering having Ukraine give up regions in return for peace.
The support from other leaders will also aim to stop the Ukrainian president from having a confrontation like the last time he was in the Oval Office.
Gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Well, despite the obvious difficulties, a peace deal has never been more urgently needed, with more missile and drone strikes overnight.
In other news, is it last orders for the British pub? More than 200 have permanently shut in the last 6 months because of rising taxes and labour costs.
And we've been debating this morning, James Bond. But does 007 have to be a man? Keep sending in your views, we'll reflect those.
And Delulu, skibbity and trad wife. Do any of those words make you think, yeah, I know exactly what we're talking about? They are the newest additions to the Cambridge Dictionary, and we'll be discussing more of that. Skibbity.
The week ahead will be cloudier and cooler compared to last week, but will there be any rain where you live? Find out in the full forecast coming up.
Hello there to you on this Monday morning. Thank you for starting your day with us. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
And I'm Penny Smith, and this is GB News Breakfast.
We're going to talk very shortly about how you can go and get checked up for various illnesses in your local shopping mall or whatever, as opposed to going to the hospital.
Yeah, it's actually about these. They're saying that tens of thousands of patients across England can go and do these checks, tests, and scans. Local health centres, they're saying universities and various other places to try, because obviously the diagnostic, the diagnosis, early diagnosis is key in so many of these instances.
Well, I heard a very bad tale over the weekend from someone who said, no, the hospital doesn't do eye checks anymore, the GP surgery doesn't do eye checks anymore. We've done a deal with Specsavers, you can go there. Then you go to Specsavers and you get a deal, and then they say, oh, what's wrong with your eye? You've had a test with your eye. And they say, yes. And she said, well, what was it? Well, my doctor has those. We don't speak to your doctor. So apparently then you get Specsavers acting independently. But and I know this from all my ailments and the coordination between private and medical health, private and NHS health, that the NHS doesn't talk to private medicine, and private medicine doesn't talk to anybody. So you end up completely in limbo. So good luck to you. That's all I can say.
Except that I would say that even the trusts don't talk to each other.
Yes.
So you could, if you're operating,
literally they say our computer doesn't match up with that computer. They literally say that. They literally don't talk to each other, the computers.
But you think it's the National Health Service, so therefore kind of everything is going to be reported in the end to this app.
Well, all of this will be about getting numbers down.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And that's what we're going to talk about. Anyway, so we're going to be speaking to Stephen Kinnock, who is the Minister of State for Care, whenever he is available, whenever that may be. In the meantime, our Home and Security Editor, Mark White, who's some breaking news ahead of the meeting in Washington today. Mark, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. More strikes overnight from Russia, 4 missile strikes and 140 drone strikes on Ukrainian towns and cities. So clearly the imperative for trying to get some kind of deal is there. The Ukrainians know that. They've had 3.5 years of this. It's whether at the end of the day what is being proposed here is palatable to them, which is a land grab. Because it's not a land swap. No. They're not getting any Russian land in return. No, it is a land grab. If they can live with that, given security guarantees from the United States and the Europeans, then possibly. But I'm not sure they will.
The optics, what is the effect of these strikes continuing and being more dangerous and more significant as everybody congregates in Washington?
Well, there's no doubt they're weary. Why? Of course they would be after 3.5 years workers are being pummeled continually by the Russians, and the Russians just, you know, in true sort of Russian meat grinder style, they just push forward their troops onto the front line. And when you think you've
because the North Koreans are
exactly, they're in there, and any manner of number of mercenaries in there as well. And just when you think you've maybe pushed them back here, you've scored a decisive victory, they put thousands more in there, and they've just been making slow incremental gains all of the time. And they've got a fair chunk, fifth of Ukraine's territory that they are now pretty much in control of. And it was interesting hearing the words coming from Mr. Stammer and various European leaders over recent days in support of Ukraine, saying that there can be no deal without Ukraine's involvement. Well, what does that even mean? That's just such diplo-babble, isn't it? And of course there can be no deal without Ukraine. They're one of the main protagonists. If they don't accept the deal, then it doesn't go forward. What they need to hear from European leaders is, look, if it's too unpalatable to give this as much land to Russia, we're going to be behind you.
Yeah.
OK, Mark, for the moment, thank you very much indeed, because we've got the Minister, we've got Stephen Kinnock, Minister of State for Care, who is going to speak to us from Westminster now this morning. Stephen, good morning to you.
Good morning. Hello.
I need some palliative care this morning. We've got air conditioning in this building. It's catching both our throats. But the idea, Stephen, is that you're making it easier for people to be checked out.
That's right. Really pleased that we've passed an important milestone today, that we've got now 100 community diagnostic centres across England that are open for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And these CDCs, as they're called, play a vitally important role in terms of maximising access for people. So if it's open 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, even people with busy working lives can very rapidly get an appointment. They have the whole spectrum of diagnostics, from MRI scans to CAT scans to X-rays, and it's going to really help because they're embedded in communities. They're in your local shopping centre, maybe in your local university, so easy to get to, open for very long periods of the day, 7 days a week. And that's really having a good impact. If you look at cancer diagnostics, so the 28-day target for either being diagnosed with cancer or having cancer ruled out, 100,000 more people have been able to hit that 28-day target, thanks in large part to what the CDCs are doing.
Now, both Eamonn and I have had experience with the NHS fairly recently. And the one problem, it seems, to both of us is about who communicates with whom and how it goes on from there. So should we just get used to carting our own stuff around? I mean, should we get the letters? Should we have them all sent to us? Because that seems to be where it all kind of slightly falls apart.
Well, the shift from analogue to digital is right at the heart of our 10-year plan. You're right, it's crazy that in this day and age, some parts of the NHS are still sending faxes to each other. Sometimes people are getting letters to confirm appointments 2 or 3 days after the appointment was actually supposed to take place. So we're changing all of that with our NHS app, which is getting more and more take-up, and where you can book and reschedule appointments, you can get important information about your diagnosis, your GP can easily refer you, for example, to one of the community diagnostic centres. So we've got to get better at harnessing technology. Obviously, we know that there are people who are not that comfortable with technology, and we've got to also make sure that they are able to use the telephone if they want to, or even still communicate by letter. But slowly but surely, we are moving to a digital NHS, and that can only be a good thing.
And do you have to get referred? Do you still have to go to the doctor to get referred? Or can you just go, I need screening for something or other?
Yeah, for the community diagnostic centres, you go into your GP, and through the app, the technology interface between GPs and community diagnostic centres, you then get an appointment into your CDC. But the good thing is that through that referral system, and because the CDCs are going to be open 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can get that appointment very quickly, and it's easy access because it'll just be in your local shopping centre or somewhere very convenient for you.
And when does this happen? From 100 community diagnostic centres, 12 hours a day, you were saying there, from when, Stephen?
From today. So there's about 170 community diagnostic centres around England. Today is important because 100 of that 170 are now open 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. So for us, that's a really important milestone because it's about giving people that easy access, that more rapid diagnosis, and we know that rapid diagnosis is key to good treatment.
But Stephen, I understand what you're trying to do, and hopefully it works. But isn't there a danger it just simply puts more pressure on the NHS? It's just more for the NHS to do.
Well, I think it'll take pressure off the outpatient appointments. So right now we've just got too much pressure on outpatient appointments in secondary and acute care, and also all the pressure we're seeing on accident and emergency. So by shifting that out of hospitals into the community, you're getting that pressure being taken off. And of course, the good thing with the community diagnostic centre is it's important that you get a diagnosis if you are not well, or if you get that X-ray which really shows how the progress you're making on your hip operation or whatever it might be. But it's also important in terms of ruling things out. So it takes pressure off the NHS by when people think there might be an issue where they send your GP says, oh, you better go in and have that looked at. You get the MRI scan, you get the CAT scan, it says, nope, you've got a clean bill of health, nothing to see here, and that helps take pressure off the system as well.
Before you go, Mr. Kinnock, I'm just wondering if you can tell us, what have you been told about the meeting between Zelensky and Trump and the others who are heading to Washington right now, the other European leaders?
It's a vitally important meeting, and it's really good that the American president has made more progress on getting these talks started than anything we've seen since Putin's barbaric and illegal invasion of Ukraine. But we have to ensure that any agreement that is reached, first of all, it has to be with the full agreement and acceptance of President Zelensky and his government and the Ukrainian people. Once that agreement is in place, it has to be underpinned by an ironclad security guarantee. President Putin has shown that he violates international agreements left, right and centre unless they're backed up by strong security guarantees. So that's why the European leaders and our Prime Minister Keir Starmer are going out, is to say, right, what does that security guarantee look like? How do we ensure that any agreement that is reached is robust and credible? So we send a clear message to Moscow that the days of Putin's illegal invasions are over. We get the agreement, we draw a line, and we ensure that that line is defended by the international community.
Minister, thanks for your time this morning. Thank you for your analysis, and thank you for your information about the checks being available and the scans out of hours at local health centres. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate it.
Time for the Great British Giveaway and your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for a year, plus having an extra £5,000 in your bank to play with.
Here are the details.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August with your chance to be mortgage or rent-free for 12 whole months. We'll give you a cash lump sum that equals 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure, because why not? And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you. We'll give you £15,000 tax-free cash instead. What are you waiting for? Lines will close on the 29th of August. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Still to come, Delulu, Skibbity. Have you looked it up yet? Skibbity and Tradwife.
The public are saying the most important thing about Penny being on the show today is that she's got a great rapport with Eamonn. There you go, that's all you need. Skibbity-doo.
Skibbity Tradwife over here. Yeah, this is... yeah, actually, that's not wrong. I don't actually mean that. I was just saying words that I don't really kind of... I'd never heard of them.
Look up the Cambridge Dictionary.
Yeah,
We'll
exactly.
be talking about that right after this short break.
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record, you say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes and Kerr weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more.
Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Look, we've been talking about all these words today.
Yeah, we have.
Skibbity-doo,
Skibbity, delulu.
Delulu. What is like, delulu sounds to me, if I was to say, you know, Penny, you're totally delulu.
Delusional,
right?
thank you.
Sounds right to me.
Yeah.
Sounds right to me.
Exactly.
Right, so who are we talking to on this? This is Alex Baratta. Alex is a language and linguistics expert on all this. Now, Ollie, what do you think, Alex, what do you think about, you know, putting these words into the Cambridge Dictionary?
Well, I think it's a good idea because some might, you know, playing devil advocate might feel, why are we putting slang, why are we putting bad English, et cetera, into a respected dictionary? But the truth is, even though slang, one feature, tends to come and go with each generation, sometimes it does not. So I think of putting it in the first place because these words are meant to have, or predicted to have, staying power. But also slang is part of identity. It's attached to a certain group, whether it's based on age, race, region. And so, you know, one man's slang is another man's standard English.
But you see, I tell you what confuses me is, right, You know, when the Oxford English Dictionary was first written, I think people had to write in, because it took years and years for them to do it, and they had to give all the different examples from books that they'd read and everything else, and it was all about the spelling of it as well, how you spelt it. Skibbity, which is a completely made-up word. I mean, you know, it could have been spelt anyway, couldn't it? Who chose the final way of S-K-I-B-I-D?
Yes, you pronounce it one way. And it could be spelled
because Eamonn was having real problems. He's pronounced it about 4 different ways already.
Yeah.
Well, I think in the end, the public decides how language is going to change. Because when it gets into the dictionary, we think, okay, this new word has arrived. It's now official. But it was already official by virtue of being used in the first place. The dictionary maybe makes it more concrete. So I think a lot of this has come from social media analysis, texting, and so on. You know, corpus studies, which does give quite a bit of ballast, I would think, to not only the usage and the frequency, but also the spelling.
Alex, will these words last, and does it matter if they don't last?
It's hard to say if they will last or not. It's always tricky to predict, even words which are seen as proper words, for example, like the word fall, meaning autumn, originally was British English, fell out of usage. So it's hard to say, but ultimately, it doesn't really matter one way or the other, because taking a perfectly, as much as I can, neutral approach, people will come up with new words. They'll decide the future of how English moves in terms of their region, their group, dialects, and so on. But new words will pop up. You know, in the next generation, there's nothing more certain. But I think the more they're used and passed on, the more likely they are to be used by future generations. I don't know what any of them mean. I do. I had to ask my daughter.
But also, the other thing is that words which were used one way before then come to mean something else. There was that period when bad suddenly meant good, for example.
Yes, yeah.
And everybody of a certain age got terribly confused.
Initially, perhaps, certainly myself. I mean, these are not words I would use, not because I think they're bad, or it's just simply I think if I were to use them, no one would take me seriously, because I think a lot of these terms are probably tied to more youth, however defined. But still, that shows how every group has its own use of words, and words do change meaning. Words fall out of favor or simply just aren't used anymore. And grammar, too, and pronunciation. So language is always on the move. It will be interesting to see what happens in the next generation.
Here's a word that doesn't change, Alex, the end. It's all over.
It's a bit brutal.
We've got to say to you there, we're running out of time. But thanks for explaining that, my friend. Appreciate you coming on.
And is it burrata or barata?
Burrata.
I love a burrata. Actually, very nice. Very nice food. Burrata and tomatoes. Very good breakfast.
Tomatoes are tomatoes. Britain's Newsroom next. Well, guys, what have you got for us? Alex, good to see you today.
Good to see you too, Eamonn.
Getting a run out on this.
Yeah, well, I was just looking at the Skibbity Toilet stuff there. That's what it comes from, Skibbity Toilet. Did you know that?
No.
It is a kids' animation that went viral online, and that's why all these kids, these Gen Alpha, the youngest generation, know this thing called Skibbity. That's where it comes from. It's a man's head that pops out of a toilet. Don't ask me how
charming.
Yeah, and says Skibbity.
High
there
culture.
You go. There we go. Anyway.
It is a really interesting thing, I think, because social media and the internet are driving new trends so quickly. I can even notice the difference between my eldest, who's 17, and my youngest, who's 11.
Yes.
The kind of words that they use just in 6 years. Yeah. I sometimes have to Google what they say, because I don't know the slang. Anyway, like you, we are perfectly colour coordinated this morning, ready to bring you the latest stories, of course, latest on Ukraine. But we're also going to be looking at consumers suffering poor service in shops. So please get in touch on your site if you've got any particularly terrible or wonderful stories about being served.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we talk about these flags being taken down, what are these councils thinking? Some of them have other flags of different countries going up, but they're scared to take down Palestine flags, but they're not scared to take down British and English flags. It's a bit of a disaster, isn't it? These councils are so out of touch, but loads more to come, of course, from Britain's Newsroom.
Yep.
Thanks. Have a good one, Miriam and Alex. Thank you very much.
Well, that's it, isn't it, from us?
That is it. Hope you enjoyed it. Here's the weather.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. So there will be more in the way of cloud around out there today, but we'll also see some sunshine breaking through gradually through this afternoon. But we will need to watch for some thundery showers across the southwest of the UK, and more particularly Cornwall and Devon, maybe even South Wales later this afternoon. So some heavier downpours and some flashes of lightning perhaps here. Otherwise a dry day to come, but the cloud quite stubborn to clear across parts of northeast England. So here it's going to be fairly cool, temperatures suppressed into the high teens for some places. Otherwise, though, where the sunshine does break through, once again it will be a warm or very warm day with highs of 24 to 26 degrees Celsius. So as we go into this evening, and it's generally going to be a fine end to the day across the south. Some sunshine, particularly in Wales and southern parts of England. Out towards the southwest, though, still the threat of some showers across Devon and Cornwall first thing this evening, perhaps even into Pembrokeshire as well. Northern Ireland and parts of Wales having a fine and mostly sunny end to the day as well. The best of the sunshine, though, probably across western parts of Scotland after a warm and sunny day here. Northeastern parts of Scotland, though, will be generally quite a bit cloudier and cooler, and there'll even be a few spits and spots of light rain or drizzle in a few spots. Now, as we go through this evening and overnight, that cloud on North Sea coast will tend to drift its way gradually in from the east, moving its way westwards. So a few dampness patches across the higher ground, and more especially across northeastern parts of Scotland, where there'll be some patchy rain at times, but a mild night to come, lows of 14 to 16 degrees Celsius. So a damp start to the day for some northeastern parts of England and northern Scotland on Tuesday. Some patchy rain in places, and also some showers across the very far south of Wales, and more especially Devon and Cornwall, where we could even see the odd heavy and thundery one. Skies brightening though across other southern parts of the UK, so some afternoon sunshine, and temperatures here into the mid-20s once again, but feeling considerably cooler where that cloud doesn't clear, highs in the teens.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. There is no access from the A725 northbound to Whistleberry Road due to planned maintenance. Motorists should use signed diversion routes and prepare for extended travel.